Lao Hu was stunned when he saw Nangong-yi. Now he saw that the thin man pointed a knife at his employer and quickly kicked him. Don't talk about it. This is Mr. Nangong. The thin man was beaten by Lao Hu, but he didn't say what he said. He choked himself red in the face. Nangongji stands with them across from the man-eating snake. After he signals to Lao Hu, he looks at Yunwu's face. The sight gave Yunwu another feeling of goosebumps, as if every time in front of him, her soul could be seen through. However, just when Yunwu and Nangongji just came into contact with each other, the other two eyes were also watching them. Long Qingxia narrowed his black eyes and looked strangely at Nangong-yi. On the other side, because of Nangong-yi, the cannibal snake who picked up his life didn't remember his kindness. The weak man-eating snake keeps the quietest state. If it's not everything just now, maybe everyone will doubt whether it's a living man-eating snake, but just a vivid corpse. Lao Hu was more vigilant after all, and this unusual calm attracted his attention. He shouts to Nangong-yi, "Mr. Nangong, please leave there. It's dangerous." Nangong-Yijuan's white face is more and more transparent in the sun, with a sense of transparency. With it, people can't see the expression on his face clearly. Yunwu was not worried about Nangongji's safety, but when she suddenly saw that the man-eating snake exploded, Nangongji was still standing in the same place without any resistance, and she was immediately surprised. His eyes shot. "Stand still." Cloud Dance suddenly Jiao drinks a, burning the thin sort of fierce blood color flame then appears in her hand. Almost in an instant, with the momentum of splitting mountains and rivers, he waved heavily towards the back of the snake's head. The flame burns everything in the air into nothingness. A thin layer of black smoke permeates the place where the cloud-dancing sword passes, showing the path of the sword. This man-eating snake is the end of a strong crossbow. Moreover, it is determined to eat Nangongji to replenish its energy. How can it think that the little boy standing opposite has such a great lethality to it? Just in an instant, the huge snake's head slammed down on the ground. Another inch, it would just hit Nangongji's feet. Although he was not hit by the snake's head, Nangongyi's clean white clothes are still splashed with blood red by the blood gushing from the man-eating snake's broken neck. The original image of Junlang in white was in a mess. However, he didn't seem to have much reaction. He was still standing there pure and indifferent. "Young master, I'm afraid that my subordinates are incompetent." The bodyguards came in a hurry. Seeing Nangongyi's embarrassed appearance, they were so scared that they fell to their knees. "Just go back to the hut first. Help me find some hot water. And then find a clean suit." "Yes." Nangongyi looks at Yunwu, and the beautiful face under the white gauze just raises a gentle smile. As if he had no temper, he took the clean towel from the bodyguard and wiped his face. It was not easy to save that Qingjun face. The next moment, in the eyes of Lao Hu and others, which are mixed with sympathy, Nangongyi looks at Yunwu inexplicably, and then turns to follow the bodyguard back. However, it seems to think of something, and then look back to the direction of Cloud Dance. "Let the boy come with me. He saved me." The bodyguards took orders to act, and with the appearance of "it's your blessing that my son is willing to see you," they took Yunwu away from the exploration team. Of course, there must be Dragon Qingxia walking together. Anyway, brother's identity is still very useful at this time. A cabin was built in a clearing near a lake in the forest. At this time, it was in the hut. It took Nangong-yi a long time to clean himself up. Yunwu was bored and counted while waiting at the door. He took a bath with 5 buckets of hot water. "Tut, I'm really worthy of being the son of the national master. I'm still a noble child in the Warcraft forest. I'm so precious." The guard opened the door of the room and said to Yunwu and Longqing with a straight face, "Gentlemen, please come in." Long Qingxia glanced at the guard, cold and indifferent. Hearing this, he stepped into the room first without saying a word. He didn't care about any rules. Such a move attracted the guard's disgusted glare at him. The vulgar lower class couldn't get on the stage like this. Cloud Dance sees that bodyguard, some doubts. How isn't that troublesome small attendant of South Palace, East Side come to open the door? Think of that little kid. Cloud Dance can't help but think of the auction house. As Long Qingxia and Cloud Dance step into the small hall, they see Nangongji standing in front of the bookshelf. Nangongyi has just finished bathing. However, he is still wearing the white dosha on his head, and a white robe with a dark pattern of silver thread on his body. Little brother, thank you for saving my next life. Can I help you? Nangong-yi turns his head and looks at Yunwu. He asks mildly. He is still the same as Cloud Dance in memory, always so gentle, but can handle extremely good. Let people listen, even if they don't like him, they can listen to him. No, I just took the money to do things. You paid for it. I should protect you. After all, in the eyes of Nangong-yi, Yunwu is always a little uneasy. Nangong-yi poured a cup of tea and said to Yunwu, "What's your name, please?" Little. Cloud Dance just opened to say a word. By the side of Dragon Qing, Evil quickly interrupted in the past. Her name is Dragon 5. Cloud Dance toward the Dragon Qing. Evil squeeze eyes. When she simply with him a surname. There are 8 brothers in our family. They are all named in the order of birth. Long Qingxia turns a blind eye to the threat of Cloud Dance, and continues to lie to Nangong-yi. Little 5 Little Dance. How can Long Qingxia be allowed to shout to Yunwu from Nangong-yi's mouth? Nangong-yi put down the book in his hand and looked at the dragon with a negative hand. In his clear black eyes he saw through the vicissitudes of life. Long Qingxia's eyes looked back at him dangerously. They were also black eyes, but his eyes were like a deep cold pool. It's cold and chilly. Why did you join the expedition? Nangong-yi put his eyes on Yunwu and asked her, with your ability, even if you are not in the exploration team, you can live a good life, can't you? Nangong-yi's words are actually very strange. The last sentence doesn't seem to be a real question. On the contrary, it seems that he already has an answer. Let Yunwu think that he has recognized her? However, Yunwu calmly replied, "These are our own business, you pay the commission, and we work for you, isn't that enough?" Nangong-yi steps towards Yunwu, and Wenxing asks, "Do you want to know why I want so many people to come to Warcraft Forest?" Yunwu is not easily taken up by Nangong-yi's active curiosity. Instead, she asks calmly, "Does this have anything to do with me? It's just your business." Nangong-yi seems to have expected that she would have such a reaction. The gentle smile on her face is better than a few points. Long Qingxia looked at the two of them, and their mood became worse. Mr. Nangong, the most terrible thing for a man is not contented. He always wants what he shouldn't get. We don't want to hear this secret that doesn't belong to us. This implied declaration gives Nangong-yi a look. He glanced at the hunter's dress that Dragon Qingxia now exposed, and looked at him more. But he could see nothing. This is the second time that someone can't see through in his eyes. The first one is the evil man who appears beside her, and the Dragon 4 is the second one. He's him. Or, is the strength of this man enough to make him invisible? Long Qingxia puts his hand on Yunwu's shoulder, and looks at Ren Nangong-yi, who is intimate with Yunwu. The two brothers are very close. Sure enough, seeing his action, Nangong-yi's eyes narrowed slightly and gave a faint smile. You don't need to be reminded by Nangong. You'd better get down to business, or we'll leave. Nangong-yi faced Dragon Qing evil everywhere if there seems to be no provocation. Good temper and not angry. And this is the only thing that makes the dragon feel sick. You must have heard that I was poisoned. This time I asked you to come to Warcraft Forest to find an antidote. Nangong-yi goes to the desk and sits down. His white clothes are flying. It's like a fairy in a painting to cooperate with the room with the fragrance of reading. Seeing that they didn't interrupt, Nangong-yi went on consciously. What I'm looking for is the 5 poison stone. This kind of stone can attract all kinds of poisons, but I rely on it to attract a kind of highly toxic warcraft, and take the blood of that warcraft to refine antidotes. After hearing this, Yunwu said to Nangong-yi, "If that's the case, why don't you go directly to find that kind of warcraft? Why do you have to ask for the 5 poison stone?" "Little brother, you don't know. The kind of warcraft I'm looking for lives underground all the year round, and even can't find food on the ground. Unless it's the 5 poison stone, you can't find it at all." Nangong-yi said some related things intermittently. In the end, Long Qingxia was impatient and wasted his time, dragging Cloud Dance to leave. When Yunwu learned that Nangong-yi needed the 5 poison stone, he just wanted to rely on it to attract warcraft, so he couldn't help thinking. Before he saved her life, and she owed him one. This, in fact, she has always kept in mind, and she never likes to owe people. However, at this time, Hyo also needs the 5 poison stone. This little thing, I haven't promised you to take the 5 poison stone out to save Nanganji. There was no one around. Long Qingxia held Cloud Dance tightly in his arms and looked down into her eyes. In those evil eyes, there were 4 big words: don't save when you see death. Just now, I was still thinking about the Cloud Dance. My mind returned slowly. I looked up at all the men in front of me, asked, "Things have been given to me, do you want to go back?" "I don't want what I give you. But little thing, if you dare to give what your husband gave you to other men, I don't have to wait for any antidote to save my life. I'll send him to the west first." Although Long Qingxia's face hasn't changed yet, his natural domineering spirit and his evil spirit of not putting anything in his eyes are still fully revealed. Now that the things have been given to me, it's mine. The decision is in my hands. Come on, don't make trouble. I know it. With that, Yunwu wanted to take his hand back from him. Naturally, the dragon would not let go. But at this point, Nanganji lived in the hut. Suddenly a faint sound of fighting came. Yunwu and Long Qingxi stopped pulling, look at each other and rushed to Nanganji's residence. By the time they arrived, the courtyard was in a mess. Several bodyguards were fighting with a masked man in black. People with clear eyes could see that the masked man with more than one enemy had the upper hand. Nangang-yi is supported by the bodyguard at this time. Because he is wearing white dosha, people can't see his face. However, he faintly feels his breath, which seems to be much weaker. I don't know if it's poisoned or injured. It makes you laugh. Nangang-yi see them too come some weak smile. I have been like this since poisoning, it is useless. After Cloud Dance looked at him, he was not polite to him. He just looked at the battle circle and carefully observed the way and tactics of the man in black. In addition to the suppression of strength, there are many other things we should pay attention to. Unless the person fighting alone has the ability to crush others directly. And this masked man in black obviously does not have these. Just when Cloud Dance observes carefully, Nangang-yi suddenly asks for Dragon's Evil. Brother Longxi, I don't know. Can you help my bodyguards? Dragon Qing Evil Skin Smile Meet Don't smile of looking at South Temple E. That look in the eyes is clear to imply to deter. Mr. Nangang, your bodyguards are the best in 100. If they can't cope with them, I'll go, won't I die? Nangang-yi seemed to have expected Long Qingxia's attitude and said gently, Xiaowu is so good at it. I have more confidence in her elder brother. You must have taken the reward for coming to Warcraft Forest this time, so protect me. Between the two, it seems very normal to have a dialogue. However, I don't know why, there is always a temptation that others can't understand. Yunwu is not interested in the exploration between the two of them, but Long Qingxia ends up fighting with the masked man in black. She is very happy to see it. Only by observing the actual combat can she get more ways to fight the enemy. Dragon Qing Evil aware of Cloud Dance eyes, language with doting asked. Small 5 also want to see? Cloud Dance stiff expression nodded. Since Xiaowu wants to see it, I'll go and play with him. Long Qingxia's words were clear and clear. He just wanted to make Yunwu happy. He didn't pay attention to Nangang-yi at all. Is that arrogance? Absolutely. Who do you think you are? How dare you talk to you like this? And his such attitude. Let protect in South Palace east side of bodyguard how can bear. The facial expression ugliness almost want to turn a face with him on the spot. Well, don't talk too much. Nangang-yi raised his hand to stop the bodyguard. On the pale face under the white dosha, the smile faded. His original intention is to test the dragon to see if he has any details. This person's style of action is really very similar to someone in his impression. Next, it's time to see his strength. Long Qingxia doesn't know all about Nangang-yi's plans. He looks at the guards and the masked man in black, with a cruel sneer. Since he wants to test, he will let Nangang-yi have a look at something interesting. Long Qingxia walks to the battle circle, but every step makes people feel that his momentum is stronger and stronger. Everyone found that as the dragon went past, even the air was full of invisible depression. The man in black soon noticed the existence of Long Qingxia. He beat 2 bodyguards fiercely. It seemed that he didn't want to fight with Long Qingxia. However, how can Long Qingxia make him achieve his wish? The broad palm opens and closes, and a broad blade épée appears in the palm of Dragon Qingxia. The sword body is covered with strange patterns. Looking at the material and the pattern of the hilt, it seems that it is just a pair with the thin sword that the dragon gave to Yunwu. And this is also Yunwu, the first time to see him really take out all his weapons. When I saw that the sword seemed to be a pair with her, I felt a little strange in my heart. There was no bodyguard who could stand beside the man in black at this time. After the pressure suddenly lightened, the man in black had enough confidence. "Don't mind your own business, it's between me and Nangongji," he said to the dragon smell speech. Long Qing evil just the smile of the corner of the mouth deepened a few minutes. He is not a meeting to take care of their what gratitude and resentment. Who said I was in charge of you and Nangongji? The man in black was stunned. So you don't want to interfere? Long Qingxia closed his eyes slightly. When the man in black was thinking about what he was going to do, he suddenly opened his eyes. On the shining pupil, there was blood like silk thread passing by. Even the broad blade épée in Long Qingxia's hand, with his change, appeared a trace of blood color in the grain. Long Qingxia smiles, and his evil spirit is crazy. He raises his hand and points his sword at the man in black and says coldly, "My little dance depends on how I deal with you, so I will naturally deal with it for her." When the man in black felt the inexplicable changes in the air, he was shocked. He didn't seem to expect that the man's breath was so strong. However, it was humiliating that he tried to obstruct him to show another boy. However, the man in black is not stupid. He moves his feet and makes a quick move. If he wants to seize the opportunity, he will do it first. But it's still a slow step. The wide blade cuts through the air in the middle, and cuts heavily towards the man in black with a sharp whistle. In this short moment, the blood lines on the épée quickly covered the whole body of the sword, just like the vigorous vines. Even the momentum of Long Qingxia himself began to make people shudder, but what was more strange was that it made people unable to see the height of his specific strength. This is the most frightening. It depends on whether you have the ability to deal with me. The man in black was unwilling to be humiliated, and his fighting spirit was carried all over his body. In particular, his weapons were covered with a layer of almost liquid energy. It can mobilize the power in the body to such a degree, and the energy is so refined and thick. The cloud dance outside the stadium was surprised to see this step. Long Qingxia doesn't talk to each other anymore. The épée cuts down, and the air is split into a crack. The épée and the opponent's weapons hit each other with a deafening roar, forcing the opponent's body down. However, the masked man in black is obviously a hardbone. He is still struggling to push his power back under the power of dragon. Interesting. Long Qingxia's eyes on the masked man in black are no longer contemptuous, but full of interest. Although Long Qingxia didn't really use all his strength, the person who can compete with himself in this situation can make him a bit interesting. There was no wind outside the hut, but the clothes on Dragon Qingxia's body were trembling, as if it was windless. Nangongyi looks at the dragon who confronts with the man in black. In the eyes of the wise man under the white veil, there is a trace of doubt. The breath is not right. Is he really thinking too much, this dragon is not the person he thought? But I'm afraid there are not many people in the world who can't see through. Are these two really unrelated? Or the masked man in black knew that this was a tough idea to tie hands with, and his heart sprouted a retreat. Who are you? Why do you want to help Nangongji and me to be right? Long Qingxia sneered, and his expression was full of coldness and pride. Who said I was helping Nangongyi? Are you deaf? It's my little dance. I'll do it if I want to see it. What's the implication? To him, what is Nangongji? I don't know which sentence of Long Qingxia is liked by the masked people in black. The other party laughs. At the moment of fighting each other, he can still joke about Long Qingxia. Good boy, if we don't die today, we'll drink together another day. Long Qingxia's response is to pull the corners of his mouth back. I'll drink it myself, you can forget it. As soon as the words fell, the dragon suddenly moved forward. The whole person was like a bow and arrow pushed out, straight towards the other side. Just when the masked man in black was strictly guarding against the frontal attack, Long Qingxia's body shape was strange on the way. Suddenly, he ran straight up at a right angle of 90 degrees. Although Yunwu had seen the dragon's hand in the Warcraft forest, he had never seen the dragon's skill like today. Now he was a little surprised. The ape with strong power fell straight from the sky. When the masked man in black wanted to move and avoid, he was frightened to find that his body was fixed. Cloud Dance looked at the masked man in black. He was not bound, but he seemed to be struggling in the same place. He realized that it must be Dragon Qingxia who used some means to make him unable to evade the attack. Think of here, Cloud Dance and the heart unavoidably draw a cool breath. When the two sides fight, they can make the other side unable to move. Such a means, even if it is only for a moment, may become the key to a decisive victory. The dragon, however, can hold his opponent for such a long time. At the moment of lightning and flint, masked people yelled, "Boy, don't you want Nangongyi's life?" At this time, the sword tip in Long Qingxia's hand almost touched his scalp. The power of leakage along the edge of the sword cut the skin and flesh of the masked man, and a small bloodstain slowly flowed down his hairline. Tick! The blood fell to the ground. The dragon turned over and stood beside the masked man with his sword. Looking at his eyes, it's like looking at a prey who is driven to a dead end by himself. There's no other way out except to be played by others. To be honest, in the moment just now, when Long Qingxia heard the word Nangongyi, he really wanted to kill the grass. It's just that this visit to Warcraft Forest is for Cloud Dance experience. It will cause unnecessary trouble all the way. It will only delay the upgrade of Cloud Dance, and the gain is not worth the loss. Of course, this is only one of the reasons. As for the other reasons, he just knows clearly. Nangongyi, let him live 2 more days. Nangongyi himself listened to the masked man's words, and frowned under the white yarn. It was the bodyguard beside him who yelled at the masked man. "Tell me, how can we save our son?" The masked man sat on the ground like a rogue, crossed his legs, and glared at Long Qingxia. "You are lucky to meet this evil star. As long as you find the 5 poison stone, I can give your master an antidote." Cloud Dance eyebrows a wrinkle. Masked people mean there are other people poisoned? What's the matter with this? The poison that needs 5 poison stones will not be easily made. Who is going to poison so many people? Nangongyi straightened out the sleeves with repeated embroidery patterns, and said in a gentle voice, "What you said is very light, but how hard it is to find the 5 poison stone. You should know better than me. Otherwise, I will not come here to take away the 5 poison stones that may be found by my men." The masked man is very cheeky and doesn't care about Nanmi's purpose of his trip. So what? Now I've decided to cooperate with you. Anyway, without me, it's not much easier for you to refine antidotes than to ascend to heaven. The bodyguard disdained to say, "Hide your head and shrink your tail. Do you want people to cooperate with you? You'd better show your face and name yourself first." The masked man was very angry by the bodyguard, so he stood up with his hands akimbo, and began to yell at the bodyguard like a shrew. "What do you mean I hide my head and shrink my tail? Don't I just cover my face? If you have the ability, you can cover it too. What's more, isn't your son also hiding himself with a white mosquito net? And his feelings are also hiding his head and tail." The bodyguard was more clumsy than this man. He was speechless and stammered. He couldn't answer back. Nangongyi was not angry when he was said that, but responded gently. "You also said that whether the coverage is personal interest, my subordinates are in charge of too much. However, since you already know my name and origin, should you give me your name in return?" The masked man pointed at the guard and gave orders. "Tut, don't you think it's much better to talk like this than to learn from your master?" The bodyguard was too angry to say. His straight face was red. Masked people swagger close to Nangongyi and grab an apple from the fruit tray on his desk. "As for me, Shengguan Fuxing, you don't deserve to know my name. Just call me Shengguan." The bodyguard's eyes would stare out, and he said he didn't deserve to know his name? Shengguan made a face at the guard and looked at the others. Can see Longqing evil time. The line of sight Shua once then move away, obviously very scared. But when he saw the Cloud Dance, his eyes immediately changed. Soon he waved. "Come here, boy." Cloud Dance eyebrows pick. But with the nature of cloud dancing, naturally, He was not afraid of him, so he walked over. "What can I do for you?" Shangguan's eyes, which came out of the mask, looked at Yunwu with strange luster, like a dog with bones. "And it's the kind that's been hungry for more than 10 days. Rao Shiyun has always been calm, but he is not comfortable with Shangguan's eyes. Dragon Qingxia is not happy, squints dangerous eyes, comes over, and pulls Yunwu behind him. "Do you have a problem with my brother?" In front of him, looking at his woman hungrily, when he died. Shangguan was so scared by the words of Long Qingxia that he didn't come back for a long time. He suddenly grabbed Long Qingxia's sleeve. He howled in the voice of a dead father and mother. "Do you think he's your brother?" Brother Long Qingxia pulls back his sleeve and plays the dust that doesn't exist at all. "Or is he your brother?" Shangguan looked at the cloud dance standing behind the dragon and muttered. "How could it be? How could it be your brother? That's not right." Cloud Dance is looking at Shangguan, that pair of particularly deep dark eyes, always feel where to see, like, very familiar. However, it is obviously unwise to ask any questions at this time. Just look at the hot-blooded bodyguards of Nangong Yi. If she looks familiar with this madman, it's hard to ensure that she won't be attacked by them as accomplices. Nangong Yi gets up leisurely, and a bodyguard immediately puts on a snow-white robe for him. "Well, since you say you can refine medicine, let's discuss how to find the 5 poison stone earlier." Long Qingxia and Yunwu wanted to leave, but Nangong Yi left them because they had settled Shangguan. Shangguan is very happy because of this. He repeatedly praises Nangong Yi for being on the road. Only Long Qingxia knew that he would give Nangong Yi a reason to get along with Yunwu. Just now he shouldn't have stopped. He should have cut the madman with a sword and finished everything. "Please take a seat. I'm sorry for the poor place." Shangguan told the truth. "Are you simple? I've been sleeping in the woods for months. Are you here to detoxify or to enjoy?" The bodyguards made tea and poured water. In such a dangerous place near the center of Warcraft Forest, they can not only temporarily build a simple but comfortable house, but also prepare everything that can make Nangongji continue to be a gentle child at any time. Looking at the guards in and out, Yunwu really feels that Nangongji really enjoys it. From just now, she also felt that these bodyguards around him seemed to be extremely loyal to him. This can't help but let Cloud Dance suddenly think that all those guys around her, in addition to that, also give Feng Huangval stink. All day long shouting Cannibal Hongling, with the little red snake, can't help but sigh. Do people keep pets or ancestors? The only one is Hayo in human form. She is so willful that even she has to discuss it. In the final analysis, the master-servant contract is just to protect her life. I really want Hayo to be a servant. I'm afraid he doesn't want her life, so I want to kill her. Just when the cloud dances, Nangong Yi takes the initiative to bring a plate of preserved fruits to her. "Xiao Wu, you try these. I make them myself. They taste good." Cloud Dance, looking at that plate of preserved fruit, can't help but pick eyebrow to see South Temple E1 eye. With her current small 5 identity, it seems that she is not familiar with Nangong Yi, so that he can condescend to serve snacks for himself, right? "I did it myself." Should not, this time. He has seen through her identity? But in that case, he seems to have no reason to pretend not to know. But then, as soon as Long Qingxia's long arm stretched out, it was even more straightforward. He directly separated the preserved fruit from Shangguan. His attitude was so cold and arrogant that he could not describe it. Shangguan quickly ate the general preserved fruit that Long Qingxia poured to him. But even when he ate, he didn't lift the mask, just sent the food in from under the mask. It's the same as Nangong Yi. They don't want people to see their faces. Long Qingxia fiddles with the preserved fruit in his hand, and looks coldly at Nangong Yi. "Mr. Nangong, I'll take care of my little 5. Don't bother." Nangong Yi said in a gentle voice. "Dragon 4, there is only one child named Xiaowu here. When he is still growing up, I'm just at ease." Long Qingxia didn't know whether he believed it or not. He turned his mouth and didn't take Nangong Yi's words. Shangguan was still biting food in his mouth, so he opened his mouth in an indistinct voice. "Well, don't be jealous." Long Qingxia and Nangong Yi are stiff for a moment at the same time. Pi Xiaro looks at each other, and doesn't intend to continue this topic. Yunwu, as the object of jealousy, doesn't seem to be very conscious. Is she stupid? Or EQ? Perhaps, there is no perfect person in this world. She has a superior and detached side. Naturally there will be her defects to a small corner. After eating the preserved fruit, Shangguan burps and asks Nanganji, Nanganji, tell me about it. You've been looking for so many people for so long, but you haven't found the 5 poison stone. How did you do such a shameful thing? Nanganji doesn't care about Shangguan's carved words, but Wenxing replies, it's my people who don't have the ability to make you laugh. Shangguan hit a ball of cotton with one punch. He felt bored and had to be serious. The liquid you asked them to use is not wrong, but it's not a good idea. Oh, what do you mean to find out? Shangguan raised his foot and stepped on the chair. He put one hand on his knee and looked like a little gangster. In my opinion, we should directly catch some sacks of poisonous snakes and scorpions, then let them go, and send someone to follow them to see where they will go. Even if you haven't seen it with your own eyes, you should know something about it. Isn't it faster than you use that bullshit liquid? Nanganji took a sip of warm tea. Her white fingertips and white porcelain are almost the same color, with a delicate feeling. I've thought about this before, but I don't know where to look for so many poisons. Even if we find them, they are concentrated in a certain area of the Warcraft forest. If we let them go, aren't those bodyguards who follow in the past, and those who come in later very dangerous? Nanganji has his scruples. He asks the bodyguard to observe the reaction of the stone with that kind of medicine, which can give them time to run for their lives. But if they follow the poison directly, they will not meet Warcraft directly. This is the place where we are going to enter into the depth of the Warcraft forest. No Warcraft can be dealt with by a few bodyguards. Yunwu thinks that Long Qingxia just found the 5 poison stone by the side of the road, but Shangguan and Nanganji are seriously inferring that where there will be 5 poison stone. I don't know what to say. I feel sorry for both of them. I think you are stupid to read. You are dying. Do you care about other people's lives? Shangguan fidgetily changed another foot, stepped on the chair, patted the table, and made the dishes on the table jingle. Nanganji shakes his head. He can't see the expression on his face through Baisha, but that gentle laughter, but can hear his meaning. He was still unwilling to exchange the life of the bodyguard and others for his own. Shangguan raised his hand and pointed to Nanganji with great disrespect. He bared his teeth and said, well, you are anxious to die. Go to die yourself. Don't pull others. Give me some bodyguards. I'll do it myself. No, I'm willing to cooperate with you, but that's after I found the 5 poison stone. Before that, I won't let my men do those things for you. Although Nanganji's voice is gentle, it has an irrefutable firmness, which makes people understand how much he opposes Shangguan's practice of ignoring other people's lives. Just when Shangguan and Nanganji are in a stalemate, the bodyguards outside suddenly push the door without permission. After this group of big men entered the room, they knelt down on one knee to Nanganji. The previous bodyguard who couldn't get along with Shangguan raised his head and told Nanganji what they thought. Young master, you saved all the lives of your subordinates, and you exchanged them with your own lives. Now we are willing to do anything for you. Please listen to Mr. Shangguan. Let's go to catch the poison and find the 5 poison stone. Behind him, many bodyguards pleaded in unison. Please give the order. Nanganji stretched out his hand across the white yarn and rubbed the temple. He was helpless by his bodyguards. Shangguan, extremely impatient, urged, well, now what else do you disagree with? Cloud Dance, which never said a word, finally opened its mouth. Mr. Nangang, even if you don't let them go now, can you guarantee that they won't go quietly? If you go quietly without informing anyone, you can't ask for help in case of danger, but it's even more dangerous. Nanganji hears a shock and looks at Yunwu. Finally, he sighs and has to compromise. Ling'an, you should distribute all the staff well. Don't let people be left alone. Go to find the poison first. The first bodyguard, named Ling'an, was red in his eyes when he saw Nanganji nodding. Yes, I do. Ling'an got up and waved to the other guards. All follow me, and start to catch the poison right away. The bodyguards left, and the room was suddenly quiet, but it seemed a little empty. Long Qingxia yawned lazily and hung half of his body on Yunwu. From an angle invisible to others, he just held Yunwu's left hand and refused to let go. It's too conspicuous to struggle at this time. Yunwu has no choice but to ignore him. He stares at Long Qingxia secretly. Yunwu asks Nangong Yi. It's rare that there are only bodyguards around him. Has Nangong always been like this? Nangong Yi hears the speech, but seems to be asked what shouldn't be asked. There is an undercurrent in the black eyes under the white yarn, and he doesn't speak. In fact, Cloud Dance is just asking about the whereabouts of the little boy. At the beginning, the little boy followed him all the way to the border town. You can see that the little boy should be very attached to Nangongji. Shangguan, who was busy eating other snacks, took the initiative to answer Yunwu for him. All dead. Do you think if those people are still alive, Nangongji can still be poisoned? All the servants around him were as loyal as those bodyguards. If someone wants to poison Nangongji, those people will definitely die in front of Nangongji. And that's what it is today. All dead? Cloud danced slightly as Zheng, that is dissatisfied with her everywhere, but actually is just a hard-mouthed, soft-hearted little fart child. It seems that it is still the memory of not long ago. How in the twinkling of an eye, people are gone. In fact, Yunwu is not really a cold-blooded animal without emotion. It's just that she doesn't let herself get emotional easily. However, her deepest heart, but also with an ordinary person as emotional fluctuations exist. Nangongyi voiced some hair astringent smile a sad way. Is I this do master son of useless, can't keep them. Long Qingxia also knows about those people around Nangongyi. It's reasonable to say that even if he makes a move, he won't be able to destroy them all. Who did Nangongji meet and what happened? This question also appeared in Yunwu's mind, but now is obviously not the time to ask. Whether it's because of the current situation or the attitude of Nangong Yi that he obviously doesn't want to mention it. Nangong Yi is not a man who will indulge in the past. He takes a sip of tea and suppresses his mood. It will take 2 or 3 days to collect so many poisons. What are your plans for these days? Shangguan said, Me? I'll follow you here and enjoy it. Nangongyi looks at Yunwu and waits for her answer. Dragon 4 and I still go back to the team first. Even if it's hard to find the 5 poison stone, we should try our best. Shangguan let out a sound, completely laughing at Yunwu and thinking of doing useless work. Nangongyi doesn't show anything about Yunwu's decision. He just orders Ling'an to arrange the accommodation for Laohu and their expedition team. Don't be too bad. Ling'an thought in his heart that the reason why he did this was because he saw the strength of Chonglong 4 and could suppress the madman of Shangguan. He should be treated better. Come back from the hut of Nangongyi do. Entering the camp where the expedition team is gathered, Long Qingxia orders Ling'an in a low voice. Ling'an, you should tell the bodyguards about my fight with Shangguan. Don't let them know. Well, I'll tell them when I get back. Ling'an follows Nangongyi and sees many capable people who don't like to let people know their strength in advance. In his opinion, Long Qingxia's demand is that he thinks Long Qingxia is a low-key person, so he has more favor. Cloud Dance sees Ling'an's attitude change towards Dragon's evil, and thinks that Dragon's evil has deceived other people's pure good bodyguard. When Laohu and others saw that Yunwu and Longqingxi would come back, they were so happy that they couldn't close their mouths. Xiaowu, are you really back? Long Qingxia said to Laohu. It's not true. Is it hard to come back or not? Laohu yelled and said quickly, Don't talk nonsense. You can still say that. Children really have no taboo. Long Qingxia laughs at this. Taboo? Taboo the gods and Buddhas? Or taboo at the foot of the underground ghost? For him, those things don't exist yet. Coco saw Cloud Dance come back, happily holding a wild fruit to share with him. Brother 5, try this. It's very sweet. Cloud Dance said thanks. Put the wild fruit into your mouth, and the sweet and sour juice will diffuse in your mouth. This humble wild fruit has the feeling of making your mouth full. The thin man looked at it and coaxed. Oh, our little 5 is very popular with girls. Coco, you are very kind to your little 5 brother. Coco suddenly made a big red face by him, pinched and wronged stamped his feet, and hid away to clean up the ingredients for cooking. When Lao Hu saw that Cloud Dance didn't look like it, he knew that Xiao Wu was just a little girl playmate to his daughter. As for the others, there must be none. When he thought about it, Lao Hu felt more and more thin. Well, what should we do? After dinner, we have to continue to search for the 5 poison stones. The thin man asked for no fun by himself and walked away. The other 3 in the group of 4, tall, short, fat and thin, looked at each other with a tacit smile. I think they have a good relationship, so I want to be a matchmaker and ask for a favor. Now I'm good. Have I been beaten in the face? Yunwu didn't care about this episode. She sat down on a grass hill near the camp and looked at the entrance of the forest not far away. At this time, next to him, a man sat down. With the hand that he stretched out when he sat down, Yunwu knew who was coming. Cloud Dance pats to open the dragon to pour evil that not serious all hands, depressed way. I say you a big man all, can don't move to cuddle. Long Qingxia turns a deaf ear to it, reaches out his hand again and takes it over, and even the whole person sticks it on Yunwu. No. There is no need to discuss this matter. However, if it wasn't for your face today, I would not have done it. Meaning he came out to save Nangong Yi. All for her, she had to think about him. Good to him. In fact, the men are really not generally thick-skinned. I remember, I never seemed to ask you to do it. Cloud Dance glanced at him. Little things for husband, but everything is first to you. You can't get love again? Long Qingxia made a wronged appearance. His eyes are how easy to cover up the evil beauty. At this time, he looked at the Cloud Dance. And even the Cloud Dance gave birth to a feeling that he really did something wrong. Yunwu was embarrassed by Long Qingxia, but it didn't look like he was leading her by the nose. Because if she let go, with her understanding of his temperament, this man will definitely climb along the pole. Later, he will definitely be pestered by him to make up for something. Moreover, no matter how compensation is made, she suffers. Think of this, Cloud Dance stem neck back way. Even if so, how? At that time I didn't ask to start. Long Qingxia wants to smile, or not to watch Cloud Dance. Little things are really smart, and they know him more and more. Yes, it's all for my husband. I'm thinking about you all the time. How can I use you to ask? Yunwu claims to be her husband one by one for the evil of the dragon. She only goes into the left ear, and out of the right ear. Anyway, even if she corrects the evil of the dragon 1,000 times, she will never be successfully corrected once. Because he did it on purpose. Why did she waste her efforts? Long Qingxia rubs his forehead against Yunwu's side face. Before Yunwu wants to slap him, he talks about serious business in time. Little thing. What's your idea of going out to look for the 5 poison stone today? Cloud Dance put aside the line of sight way. Can be what idea? Isn't that to look for 5 poison stone? Long Qingxia began to laugh in a low voice. Little thing, do you think Wei Fu is a fool? Do you want to take the 5 poison stone in your hand to Nangong Yi? Yunwu looked at Long Qingxi calmly and said, So what? You gave me something. How can I use it? It's my freedom, isn't it? However, Cloud Dance didn't seem to be ready to explain to him that Nangong Yi had saved her life. And Yunwu has her own pride. Smell speech, Long Qing evil face sink like water. Hold Cloud Dance jaw, don't let her break free. Little thing, are you fighting with Wei Fu for Nangong Yi? Now they all know how precious the 5 poison stones are. However, this innocent little thing unexpectedly took the 5 poison stone which he managed to get back and gave it to another man to use. He said the situation at that time easily. It seems that Lin Hor died and the 5 poison stone was in his hands. However, how could there be such a good thing? This little thing that doesn't know how to care about him is really infuriating. Cloud Dance to see the dragon change color several times, finally stopped in anger. The heart will feel some helpless. Since you don't agree, I'll return the 5 poison stone to you. I'll use it later, and I'll find it myself. With that, Yunwu touched the space bracelet and wanted to return the 5 poison stone to Long Qingxi. It's not that she doesn't care about Haio's use of the 5 poison stone to refine medicine. But according to the current situation, it's not enough just to give them to Nangong Yi to attract poison, let alone to refine medicine for Haio to make the 5 poison stone disappear completely? At that time, I don't know what will happen to Long Qingxia. Instead of making the man so angry, it's better to break it now. In fact, she owes Nangongyi a life, but she knows very well in her heart that this man doesn't owe her, or that he has done more for her than anything else. Can already have a familiar way to get along with him. If let her down to get along with him, she did not know how to face him. Long Qingxia grabs Yunwu's hand and says in a deep voice, "Little thing, how can I take back what I sent you for my husband? I don't take it back, but it doesn't belong to me. What can I do with things that don't belong to me? Do I show you the warehouse?" When Yunwu said this, he just said it. Dragon Qing evil smell speech. A evil fire rushed to heaven inspiration. Almost want to strangle her. What you give your husband, you give it to another man. Don't be angry with your husband. I have my own lifestyle. You can't force your strength on me. You should understand that it won't make me submit to you. It will only make me resent you. Long Qingxia looks down at Yunwu's eyes, which are almost twinkling with fire. With her emotional excitement, the deep purple smoke floats continuously, which decorates Yunwu's eyes like two most exquisite works of art. However, her words were like thunder, which made the dragon's body shake slightly. After a while, Long Qingxia finally sighed, stretched out his long arm and held her in his arms. Long Qingxia buried his head in the cloud dance neck nest and sighed. "Little thing, can't you not be angry with me one day?" He doesn't even want to be jealous. Now he just wants to kill people. If this little thing knows, will it make more trouble? However, her words made him understand what she thought for the first time. Perhaps he is too overbearing and powerful, but he also has his pride, and only she can let him put down his pride temporarily. Tut, it's true that she has lost all her life. Yunwu's stiff neck, to avoid the warm and ambiguous breath of dragon. I'll try not to use that 5 poison stone. But if they can't find the 5 poison stone, there's no way. The dragon poured evil smell speech. On the face also raised a bit of smile. Good. It's just that Long Qingxia doesn't know that Cloud Dance is actually trying to lower her mind. Arrogant as she, in the past, when did she compromise on everything? This time, it's a little softer. Lao Hu, who came to call the brothers of Long Si and Xiaowu back for dinner, saw that Long Qingxia held Cloud Dance tightly and almost rubbed Cloud Dance into his chest. Moreover, the face is buried in the other side's neck fossa. Lao Hu's eyes almost came out of the area. A word stuck in his throat, almost suffocated himself. So aren't these 2 brothers? Thinking about it, Lao Hu simply went back, deliberately fell to the ground and gave a cry of pain. Long Qingxia has been watching Lao Hu guide himself in this farce. With his ability, how can anyone approach him? But he doesn't know. He just wanted to punish a small evil character and teach the disobedient little thing in his arms. Yunwu heard Lao Hu's voice, turned his head to see Lao Hu, frowned and pushed away the dragon. Then he got up and went to the camp. After returning to the camp, Yunwu looked around and found that there were a total of 9 expedition teams like them. Some with more people and some with less people, but the total number was more than 100. Unexpectedly, Nangongyi can find so many people above level 6 around the Warcraft forest. However, some hot and strange sight made Yunwu feel uncomfortable. As soon as she looked back, she ran into the embarrassed old Hu. "Uncle Hu, what can I do for you?" Cough no cough cough. Cough it's all right. Lao Hu had been secretly observing Xiao Wu and Long Si. Now he was caught by Xiao Wu and choked himself immediately. He coughed and blushed. Can he ask in front of others at his age? Is your relationship with your brother abnormal? How could Yunwu believe Lao Hu's obvious abnormality? Besides, since she came back with Long Qingxia, the eyes from Lao Hu never left. Long Qingxia handed the good vegetable broth to Yunwu, a good-natured man. "Well, eat first. You'll scare Uncle Hu. If you're old enough to scare you, I can't afford it." Cloud Dance heart strange, but there is no reason for her to go to the bottom of the question. In this way, she only likes to listen to the dragon and eat first. However, the obedience of Yunwu at this time, and the interruption of Long Qingxi just now are in Lao Hu's eyes. That really is how to see how wrong, how to see how I have the inside story. Coco also felt that her father was a little strange this evening. She whispered to Lao Hu, "Dad, don't always look at Brother 5. He will be angry later." Lao Hu was excited by what Coco said. No matter whether they are brothers or not, and what their relationship is Uncle who is not strong enough, qualified to discipline them? At that time, I'm afraid Xiao Wu will be able to run over him with one finger. To understand this, Lao Hu's mentality is much better. He even ate half a bowl more than usual. He didn't know why Lao Hu was so sensitive just now. As for Long Qingxia, he thinks that the next time the little things make trouble for him, he can try to find more audiences. Let the little thing experience the feeling of attention. Should be able to see her hair? After dinner, Ling'an sent someone to send them some things to camp and sleep. Because of the hot weather, Lao Hu only put up a tent for Coco to live in. Other people are directly on the mat on the flat ground, Shi Tianmu ground, sleeping in the starry sky. The fat man spread out his limbs and spread out a mat that was enough for others to roll around. He was stunned to be covered with a whole body of fat meat. In this way, the fat man also pulled off his coat, bared his arms and showed his white flesh, and complained all the time. Why is it so stuffy tonight? It's so hot. Long Qingxia twisted his eyebrows and looked at the fat man's trembling body. Then he looked at the cloud dance lying beside him. He was quite dissatisfied. But the fat man didn't stop mumbling all the time. Long Qingxia was so angry that he stepped on his soft tummy, and the fat man jumped up from the ground with a very sensitive cry. Dragon 4, what are you doing? The fat man rubbed his belly. Although he didn't get hurt, it was really painful. Long Qingxia leisurely sitting on the ground. Language with disgust to the fat man is a bitter criticism and sarcasm. I don't know if we have a little girl here. If Coco comes out, you will see your fat body. Do you want to disgust her with your fat body? Or do you want to disgust her with your obscenity? Everyone, including Lao Hu and Yun Wu, was amused by the immoral mouth of Long Qingxia. The fat man was said to be unable to hang on his face, and his white and fleshy neck turned red. Ah, there's a little girl who's in trouble. We used to go out to do some work. We all have a few skillful men. Who cares? Just cool down. Although he complained like this, he thought that Coco was young and Lao Hu's daughter. The fat man picked up the clothes he had thrown aside and put them on again. However, the smell of sweat is really good. The short man pinched his nose and complained to the fat man. Fat man, you stink to death. Hey, why don't you go to the river and take a bath and change your clothes and come back? Well, I'm disgusted everywhere. The fat man glared at the short man, took out a set of short beatings from his own burden, carried them and walked to the river nearby. Lao Hu is not at ease of whispering. So late his own passed all right? The short man waved his hand indifferently, not as worried as Lao Hu. Don't worry, Lao Hu. How far is the river? Fat man can run back in time when he meets anything. Lao Hu thought that it was the same thing, so he didn't think about it anymore and put on his clothes and lay down to sleep. King Cloud Dance saw the direction that fat person leaves, feel a little uneasy suddenly. What's the matter? Long Qingxia is always the first one to find out that she is not in the right mood. He sits next to Yunwu, lowers his upper body and asks her in a low voice. Cloud Dance lay side head to see a Long Qing evil one eye, shook to shake head what didn't say. Because she didn't really feel the danger. She didn't know whether she was attentive or not. However, facts have proved that whether it is Yunwu or Lao Hu, their worries are necessary. When a fat white man in trousers came running towards the camp, everyone was awakened from the dream. Help! Save life! Small 5. When Yunwu heard the first call for help, he quickly woke up from his sleep. Now it's midnight, probably close to the river. There is a light mist around the camp. In addition, it happens that dark clouds cover the moon, so it is difficult to guarantee the sight. If not for hearing the cry for help, and the huge body, Cloud Dance may not be able to confirm that the towering white meatball running over is the fat man of their team. When the fat man saw the camp, he burst into tears. Xiao Wu, help! After shouting this sentence, the fat man fell on the ground with a puff, splashing dust all over the ground. Even the Cloud Dance could feel the ground shaking. What's the matter, fat man? Yunwu is just the person nearest to the fat man. She reaches out her hand and pokes the fat man's arm to ask everyone's questions. Fat man's breath is much faster than his air intake. He has been breathing for a long time but he can't say a word. He just desperately points at his back. Yunwu looks over there. It's the direction of the river. Fat man, what did you meet by the river? The fat man's face was as ugly as if he had just swallowed more than 10 leeches. His whole body was shaking violently. His whole body was fat and shaking without rhythm. And his mouth could only repeat the same syllable over and over again. Wolf the wolf. Yunwu squatted beside the fat man for a long time to hear what he said clearly, and his face became calm. Straighten up. Yunwu said to other people waiting for her to relay the fat man's words. He said only one word, wolf. Laohu some puzzled way. In the end is what Warcraft can frighten the fat man like this. If it's just a wolf or a pack of wolves, it's time to catch up. Why didn't it move? When he said this, everyone agreed. The rest of the expedition team also think it's funny. If they can scare people into such a Warcraft, they won't dare to come because they have too many people, will they? Can't that fat man be timid and see things like trees and stones as Warcraft? There are not one or two people who have such an idea. When the first person says it, many people agree with it. Cloud dance at this time, but in different way. Fat man is not that kind of easily can be scared out of his wits, or wait for him to slow down, ask him carefully. After that, Yunwu said to Laohu, Uncle Hu before that, it's better to keep everyone on guard. I always think something will happen. All right, listen to you. Laohu has no objection to Yunwu's command. This is the world. The strong is the king. Although Yunwu is young, Yunwu is stronger than him. So he is willing to submit to such a young man. However, just because he knows the ability of cloud dance, it doesn't mean that others also know it. A middle-aged man with a body as big as a bear and a skin as black and shiny strode over. He looked at Laohu with disdain and said to him, Laohu, when do you start to listen to the instructions of a baby? Do you care what I become? I advise you that you'd better keep vigilant at night, or you won't regret anything. The bear looked at Laohu's eyes and saw a big joke. Are you kidding me? You're crazy to listen to the boy's orders, and you want us to be ashamed with you. Forget it with that. The bear looked up and down at Yunwu, who was extremely contemptuous, and left with a sarcastic smile. For such a guy who only has muscles but no brain, Yunwu even thinks it's a waste of time to look at him more. Laohu comforted Yunwu and said, Xiaowu, don't give him the same opinion. I'll go and talk to the people over there, so that they won't be on guard. In this way, we can have more support here. After Laohu left, Yunwu watched the fat man's awkward prone posture. He was worried that he would not be killed by Warcraft if he lay down like this again. First, he would crush himself to death because he oppressed his heart. Help the fat man back first, don't let him lie on the ground. The other three in the group of tall, short, fat and thin all came right away. According to Yunwu's words, they dragged the fat man back to his mat like a dead pig. So for a while, the fat man has eased a lot, and his breathing is gradually even. Yunwu squatted beside the fat man, and pressed his hand on the side of his neck, to make sure that his pulse and heartbeat were stable before withdrawing his hand. Weight is too high, suddenly encounter stimulation. If you can't calm down, it's actually very dangerous. As soon as the fat man could catch his breath, he grasped Yunwu's wrist, and the eagerness in his eyes almost overflowed. Xiaowu, help. Don't worry, tell me first what you've come across. If you don't tell me, how can I save you? Yunwu's calmness infected the fat man, and relieved his anxiety. He closed his eyes and silently counted from 1 to 100 in his heart. He felt that his chest was not there because his heart was beating too fast. Then he opened his eyes again and looked at Yunwu. It's a wolf. I see a snow devil wolf that looks like a fifth-order wolf. Because the fat man is still a little weak, so his voice is not big at this time. Only those who gathered around the fat man in their expedition team could hear what he was saying. And the people who heard it clearly turned blue because of what he said. Level 5 Warcraft, which can fight with people above level 6, and still occupy the overwhelming position when there are more than one enemy. Cloud Dance doesn't know what Snow Devil Wolf is, but after hearing the 5th level, her expression is dignified. Only a 4-step upward man-eating snake was enough for her to fight hard. At that time, if it was not for Hayo's help, she would have died with that man-eating snake. Now in the face of level 5 Warcraft, she has no strength. Xiaowu, now what should we do? The tall, short, fat and thin four looked at each other, almost in unison, and asked for help from Yunwu. Now they have the trend of taking Cloud Dance as the leader, which is not uncommon in the exploration team. The team leader has rich experience that others don't have, as well as the skills to survive in the Warcraft forest. However, the most powerful person in the team is the spiritual leader that everyone worships. Cloud Dance's eyebrows slightly wrinkled, but still asked a sentence to the fat man. Fat man, are you sure you read it right? The fat man said with a wry smile. I wish I had read it wrong. For this reason, I specially looked at it more. At the last glance, the guy was on the opposite side, which scared me all the way back 5th level Warcraft. Fat man's escape is not shameful. On the contrary, here, the people who can save their lives in the face of a strong enemy are really admired by others. Cloud Dance subconsciously took a look at Long Qingxia. There was no way. At this time, the only person who knew how to deal with it was Long Qingxia. This man maybe can survive in Warcraft Forest better than Lao Hu. Long Qingxia received the eyes cast by Cloud Dance and said honestly, if it's an ordinary level 5 Warcraft, it's not difficult for everyone here to join hands and win. However, although Snow Devil Wolf is a 5th level Warcraft, it belongs to high level Warcraft, which is far more powerful than some 6th level Warcraft. Of course, among Snow Devil Wolves, there are 3, 6 and 9 levels of blood. If Fat Man meets Dew, he is a high level Warcraft. Maybe all the people here cannot survive. Although we all guessed it in our hearts, when Long Qingxia really said it, the tall, short, fat and thin group of 4 was still scared. The thin man sat on the ground with the expression of eating flies on his face. He endured and complained. What's the matter? The first night I came in, I met a man eating snake. My task was to find the strange 5 venom stone. Now I thought I could get some sleep when I joined up with the army. Finally, I got another level 5 Warcraft. And it's the Devil's Wolf. Is that a joke? Cloud Dance watched the thin man fidgeting with his short hair, looking like a power pole with a chicken nest. No matter what, go and talk to other campsites first. They can believe it or not. Let them gather together to prepare for the attack of Snow Devil Wolf. Fat man lying on the ground is still in a cold sweat. Cloud Dance and Dragon Pour Evil is impossible to do this thing. So the errand job was given to the remaining 3 men. However, Yunwu's conjecture is correct. After seeing Lao Hu's attitude towards Cloud Dance, people in other teams didn't believe the word spread from their team. A thin, small and dry little boy who knows at a glance that he has no ability at all. It's killing the whole team to listen to such a thing, isn't it? When the 3 people came back, they said that almost all of them were sarcastic, and the rest of them had some face. They also hinted that they should not offer a child to God. Cloud Dance can only say, good words are hard to persuade ghosts who want to die. Since they want to die themselves, it's none of our business. Yunwu doesn't care about those people's life and death. She naturally won't pay attention to those people after all. As for her own safety, she naturally does not have to worry, because she still has Hyo to protect her life. And Long Qingxia, with his strength, if the 5th level Warcraft was hurt, it would be a laughing matter. However, she is here to practice in the Warcraft forest. With her own strength, it may be a little suspense. However, the 5th level Snow Devil Wolf may be a challenge. Yes, I wanted to save their lives. Unfortunately, some people are rushing to die. What can we do? Long Qingxia looked at the idiots who pointed at them, and his sneer never faded. He just dares to say these words directly. With the strength of his great warrior, even if all the people here attack the dragon, they won't get any effect. This is when you have absolute strength, you can have confidence. Lao Hu came back in a hurry. Lingen gave him a signal bomb, and said that if something was abnormal, it would be set off immediately. Naturally, there would be bodyguards to support him. In this way, the people on Yunwu's side all gathered together and waited quietly, vigilant, on guard against the Snow Devil Wolf that might appear at any time. Others, however, gathered together to laugh at them, and then lay down to sleep. In the middle of the night, the temperature gradually dropped, and the people who used to be greedy outside all moved back to the tent. That is, after the others entered the tent, Yunwu found that in addition to them, there was a small team, which seemed to be on guard against the Snow Devil Wolf. Skinny, go over and ask. If they are guarding against Warcraft, just ask them to come together. Because Fat Man is talking about the 5th level of Warcraft, Laohu really has no bottom in his heart. Now he really has to come to the point that more than one person is one person. All right. The thin man rubbed his nose and was unwilling to run errands. After a while, the thin man brought back all the members of the team. After Laohu saw the leader over there, he suddenly laughed. You can lead the team by yourself? Yunwu looks up at the leader, who is familiar with Laohu because of Laohu's rare real cordial expression. The young man was only 24 or 25 years old. He was not very good looking, but he was upright and comfortable to look at. Because of Laohu's words, the young man gave a shy smile and called Uncle Hu to him. Laohu waited until all the people in their team sat down and spoke to Alan. Alan, my people have already told you to come here. Why don't you come here and look down on your Uncle Hu? Alan was a little flustered by Laohu. She waved her hand in a hurry, like a child who was scolded by an adult. Uncle Hu, absolutely not. Previously, the people on your side came to see us. I just came back from the outside. I didn't know that you brought this team. If other people didn't go into the tent in the middle of the night, I wouldn't have seen you across from the number 180. Laohu snorted from his throat. It seemed that he had been pacified. He turned back to Yunwu and said, This is Alan. I've been running around in the Warcraft forest for 10 years. I'm a trustworthy person. And Alan is also introducing Laohu to his team, basically speaking the same words. The leaders on both sides are acquaintances, so naturally, they are more intimate. Fat Man has a good rest now. He put on his clothes to cover his whole body of white fat. He goes to talk with Alan and his team. The moon is slanting in the west, and the clouds only feel that the temperature is getting lower and lower. She rubbed her pimple arm and looked at the yawning members of the two teams. She also began to have some doubts. If it was level 5 Warcraft, it would have launched an attack long ago. Is the fat man really wrong? Just when Yunwu was confused, the short man on their side complained. Do you feel colder and colder? Yunwu looked at the short man and found that he had already put on his long-sleeve coat, and he was exaggeratively wrapped in a thick cloak. At such a glance, Cloud Dance seemed to have a flash of lightning in her mind, which made her smart and numb. Now it's the hottest time. Even in the middle of the night, I feel cooler at most. How can it be so cold? There is only one thing to explain this strange weather phenomenon. Long Qingxia leaned on Yunwu's shoulder and said in a low voice, It has already come. Yunwu looks at the dragon and is surprised. This man, unexpectedly discovered long ago? However, with his strength, it's strange to find out early. At least 110 people in this camp were frozen back to the tent, and no one noticed anything unusual. Even Cloud Dance, if not happened to have short that sentence, afraid also want to think again to understand. But the dragon has mastered everything. Long Qingxia stretched out his hand and pinched Yunwu's cheek. He said with a smile, Little thing, just go to bed while it's cool. Don't worry about anything else. There's a husband here. Don't do anything. Cloud Dance slapped off his dishonest paw and gave a low rebuke. Such a scene happened to fall in the fat man's eyes, who looked back at Yunwu, because he had no bottom in his heart. That 100% belongs to the action of flirting and scolding. In addition, Long Qingxia's face is by no means out of doting on his younger brother, which makes the fat man feel that he knows something extraordinary. He quickly turned his head away and nearly broke his fat neck. Seeing the eccentric reaction of the fat man, Laohu subconsciously took a look at Yunwu. The expression on his face was a little unnatural when he saw the dragon leaning on Yunwu. Fat man and Laohu look at each other and get together to communicate while others don't pay attention. Fat man, did you find out? Laohu, when did you find out? Two old and young men met their heads like brothers in need, and suddenly felt that they had found a real comrade in arms in the world. It's a great psychological burden for them to know such a big secret of a stronger person than themselves. Cloud Dance observed the situation of the players of the two teams, and Laohu and Fat Man's quiet and deep vision crossed for a while. Yunwu felt goosebumps on her back. What's the matter with them? The Snow Devil Wolf will not have the ability of mind control. Will it probably because of the fear of Snow Devil Wolf, people will have any reaction when they are afraid. Long Qingxia is behind the cloud dance. He talks nonsense while waving his hand to Lao Hu and Fat Man to signal them to keep quiet. If things get big, how can he feel the pleasure of occasionally taking revenge on a little thing behind his back? It's getting late and the temperature in the camp is getting lower and lower. People who have found this problem have developed from cloud dancing and dragon casting evil spirits to all those who have not yet fallen asleep. Coco, who was sleeping in the tent, came out of the tent drowsily, wrapped in a thin quilt because it was too cold. Coco yawned and asked Hu, "Dad, why is it so cold all of a sudden?" Lao Hu reluctantly smiles and waves Coco to his side. He doesn't know what he's whispering. With the appearance of Coco, other people who had already returned to the tent came out in thick clothes. Those people's expressions are a little unnatural. Almost everyone will either light or dark toward Yunwu they look at a few. Presumably, they also associate with the sudden cooling. It seems that they have something to do with the warcraft that the fat man met. Yunwu ignored those people's eyes, embracing her arms and considering the next countermeasures. A warm and thick feeling pressed on her back. When Yunwu looked back, she found that it was Long Qingxia, who took a fox fur cape from the space ring that she would use in winter. After Long Qingxia had settled Cloud Dance, he took a pure black fur cape for himself. He advised Cloud Dance, "Don't bother thinking, Snow Devil Wolf doesn't come out, it's useless to think more." Yunwu nodded in silence. "It's true. Now the enemy is dark and we are clear. We are very passive." Other teams close to each other are listening. Now Long Qingxia is sure to say that it is Snow Devil Wolf. People over there are beginning to tremble. This is a serious level 5 warcraft. On average, they are only a little bit above level 6. When the time comes, Snow Devil Wolf will come. It's very possible that the regiment will be destroyed. The news soon spread around the camp, and almost everyone was whispering to the people around them. Just now, the camp, which was quiet and oppressive, became lively. Before long, the man who laughed at Lao Hu was encouraged by others to come to talk to him as a representative. "Lao Hu, we have to talk about the Snow Devil Wolf." He had an uneasy look on his face, and obviously didn't want to take the job. Lao Hu looked at him lukewarm, did not think he would say anything good. Sure enough, next, the man is very cowardly way. "This Snow Devil Wolf is you provoke come over. Shouldn't let everyone with you to bear the risk?" For the first time, Lao Hu really showed a cold face in front of them and said to the man, "Do you mean to let us go?" "Yes and no. We really hope that you can leave the camp, but we mean that the Snow Devil Wolf is recruited by you. So naturally, it's up to you to solve it." When Lao Hu and others heard this, their faces were full of indignation. Snow Devil Wolf is not far away by the lake. It's obvious what's going on. It has long been interested in the prey of this camp and wants to attack here. If it wasn't for the fat man's chance to find out in advance, it's likely that they would have been attacked by Snow Devil Wolf earlier tonight. Cloud Dance tightened the fox fur cape on the tight fitting, went to Lao Hu and others, and looked at the man who was dressed like a black bear. "You mean let's go and kill the Snow Devil Wolf, so as to fight for your escape time, don't you?" Yunwu's words pierced other people's fig leaf, and many people couldn't help looking away. The bear-like man became angry and said, "It was the Snow Devil Wolf you recruited. Do you want us to accompany you to death?" Lao Hu got up angrily, pointed to the man and said, "Gao Yuan, don't do this with me. Do you think it's my first day in Warcraft Forest? The Snow Devil Wolf has been guarding its prey for a long time. You have been its chosen prey for a long time. Even if we can delay it for a while, you can't run away." Lao Hu's words became the last straw to overwhelm the camel, and the people in the camp, who were in panic, began to retort in a panic. "As you say, are we all going to die with you? That is, who knows if the fat man did something to annoy the Snow Devil Wolf. Anyway, we won't accompany you to make food for Snow Devil Wolf." Yunwu looked at them coldly, their faces turned white and their lips trembled. It was really boring. Alan gets up steeply and looks around all the people present with some momentum. You choose to run away like a mouse, and then be broken one by Snow Devil Wolf, or we should try to fight together. Those people who are in constant fear, Like inspired by Aaron's words, shut up and began to think in a dilemma. Escape, 99% or death, stay, will more array of life? More and more people look around them. The 100 people gradually give them some courage. Although level 5 Warcraft has its power, it doesn't mean that all of them will be destroyed if they are good at level 6 or above. Finally, the first man raised his arm. I'll stay. This transformation is like a virus, and the previous path to escape once again swept all the people present. I'll stay too. I'm fighting with that Warcraft. Yes, we have so many people. What are we afraid of? We all stay. Sometimes Yunwu really thinks that the herd mentality of human beings is a terrible thing. At some point, it can even make you forget part of your fear and multiply your inexplicable courage. Long Qingxia came to Yunwu and naturally helped her to arrange the fox hair collar of her cloak. Xiaowu, there are so many good hands here. Don't be impulsive for a while. You'll get in the way of others. Well, I see. Seeing the evil smile in Long Qingxia's eyes, Yunwu immediately realized that he wanted those people to explore the way first. Besides exploring the way, it is also because of those people's previous ridicule of Yunwu. Since they think that Yunwu is just a weak boy with no ability, let them hold this idea and go to fight with Snow Devil Wolf. His women, no matter when, are not allowed to be ridiculed and insulted at will. When Lao Hu and others heard their conversation, they could only sigh in their hearts. These idiots know how to step up and down. Now they're doing well. They're taking most of their lives out. Other people in the camp didn't even express their opinions on this, so the weak people who might accidentally die at any time don't deserve to let them say more. Lao Hu, you will follow our arrangement. The bear liked tall, quite wide shoulders, as if he was the most important person in the camp. Whatever you want. Lao Hu took a look at Yunwu and Long Qingxi. Seeing that they didn't say anything, he agreed. When Gao Yuan saw Lao Hu, he had to look at the faces of the two boys. His face showed obvious disdain. Let's make arrangements and send someone to tell you what to do later. Looking at Gao Yuanji leaving with high spirit, Lao Hu snorted and called Cloud Dance. They sat down and gathered around the campfire to get warm. Lao Hu lowered his voice and asked Yunwu and Long Qingxia, Xiaowu, what are your plans? Cloud Dance stretched out her hand to warm the bonfire, and took a look at Long Qingxia. It was obvious that she was too lazy to explain anything. Long Qingxia had no choice but to smile. The smile made Lao Hu and Fat Man shiver. They certainly hope that we can be the first birds, but why do we have to promise? Fourth brother Long, but if they really ask for it, how can we refuse? Alan saw that Lao Hu cared so much about the brothers that she knew that they must have something extraordinary. He is different from others. Lao Hu himself took him in Warcraft Forest for so long. He knows what kind of person Lao Hu is. What do you refuse to do? Just ignore it. Dragon Qing evil with a bit arrogant leaning on the clouds, lips with a sneer. Is it difficult that they dare to throw us out one by one at this time to feed Snow Devil Wolf? Don't be afraid that other people will see such a thing happen. Just coax and run away? Lao Hu and others did not expect that this Dragon 4 was such a man. However, according to the current situation, this is indeed the only way to deal with it. Lao Hu patted his thigh and said, okay, that's it. Hesitated for a moment, Lao Hu turned to see Coco, his eyes full of guilt and remorse. Coco, it's my father who implicated you. I knew that earlier. I shouldn't have brought you out this time. Coco wrapped in the quilt and shrunk into a small ball. Obviously, he was really scared, but he still summoned up the courage to comfort Lao Hu. Dad, what are you talking about? There are 5 little brothers here. They will be fine. She knew what level 5 Warcraft represented, but when Yunwu faced the man-eating snake, the crisp battle also gave her a lot of courage. Maybe, Brother 5 can really save them from the brink of death again. Cloud Dance smell speech peep out a smile, stretched out a hand to touch Coco's soft hair. Coco's right. It's going to be okay. Lao Hu and others just nodded to comfort themselves. After all, it's the 5th level Warcraft. No one has the bottom in mind. Gao Yuan soon came back with the decision of everyone. As expected, they wanted to push Lao Hu and others to be the first pioneers. That is, the first to test Snow Devil Wolf and the first to die. Lao Hu, no matter what, everyone still thinks that it has something to do with your fat man. You have to consider whether it is such a thing. In the end, we didn't let one of you find Snow Devil Wolf, but allowed you to stay in the camp, which has been very good for you. People on Lao Hu's side all sneered at this. Push them to die together, good. Your plan is yours and we have our plan, she said. What do you mean? Don't you really know how to be grateful at all? Cloud Dance sneers, scornfully looking at that person tall and big, but so did not take on the coward. I'll send you to die, and you'll be grateful to me for learning, okay? Gao Yuan didn't expect to be stabbed by Yunwu, and turned over on the spot. Smelly boy, don't think that everyone will obey you like Lao Hu. It's everyone's decision. Why don't you go to the camp and guard around? It's too late. Long Qingxia's dark eyes looked into the darkness, where there was a firefly like white light flashing. He announced in a deep voice, "It's coming." Long Qingxia's words quickly changed the atmosphere in the camp again. Gao Yuan can't care to challenge Yunwu anymore. He can see the faint whiteness of his tan skin at this time. Aaron took the opportunity to say, "Now we still need to go to the periphery to guard." "Boy, don't worry, when you have an accident." Gao Yuan glared at him angrily and trotted back to more people. At this time, Snow Devil Wolf has completely revealed its extraordinary. It was a giant wolf the size of a lion. It was covered with snow-white and silvery fur. It was slick and beautiful in the moonlight. However, when they saw the Snow Devil Wolf's blue but cold and merciless eyes, their shudder was because of the fear from the bottom of their hearts. When the people in Gaoyuan saw Lao Hu, they did not move, and they were all angry. But at this time it is obviously unwise to fight against the Snow Devil Wolf. Lao Hu, let's settle the accounts when it's over. Gao Yuan pretended to shout a voice, and then began to accept the fate of the other teams together. Set up a defensive formation. It's easy to see the way of the formation there. The weakest people are on the outside. The more they get to the center, the stronger they are. As for Gao Yuan, nature is the center of all people. The thin man said with a strange smile. There are really people willing to die for him. The tall man, who seldom spoke, suddenly accepted his words with no expression. How can it be out of voluntary? But it's just that he is not strong enough and can only be forced to die by stronger people. Yunwu looked at the tall man, but he didn't want to say any more. Long Qingxia said lazily, whatever they do. Anyway, there are more of them and less of us. We're not in a hurry. With that, he leaned lazily on Yunwu, leaning on the unsuspecting Yunwu. At this time, you have to sit on your own. Cloud Dance really can't stand the style of dragon pouring evil. Even if it's a brother in front of people, it doesn't stick together all the time. What it looks like. But Yunwu doesn't know. At least in the eyes of Lao Hu and Fat Man, they are not pure brothers. Long Qingxia looked at the Cloud Dance with a smile, but he didn't reply because of the large number of people. He just set his deep eyes on the Snow Devil Wolf near the camp. The white giant wolf seems to be thinking about whether it should take action when so many humans wake up and are on guard. Gao Yuan and others swallow saliva, waiting for the slow flow of time. Everyone prayed in their hearts to let the Snow Devil Wolf retreat and leave quickly. Long Qingxia looked at the Snow Devil Wolf lazily, glanced at the Cloud Dance from the corner of his eye, and quietly hooked his lips. The action was so small that no one present found it. And his Dragon Qing evil show that few can't observe smile after. Snow Devil Wolf suddenly some restlessness. It paced back and forth in place for 2 circles. The pair of ice blue eyes closely watched the fat man hiding in the crowd. The fat man's guilty body was shaking. He doesn't recognize me, does he? The thin man made a few dry and hard whispers. Fat man, I think it has a crush on you. Would you like to communicate with it? The fat man kicked him and said, why don't you communicate? I can't say it likes lean meat. When they quarreled, the Snow Devil Wolf seemed to have made a decision. It came to Lao Hu, a small man. When things get to this point, people in Gaoyuan are naturally happy to see it come true. They all look at them with schadenfreude eyes. Make it clear that Snow Devil Wolf is looking for the fat man. It's better to eat the fat man, and then eat a few people in the team, and then go quickly. It doesn't matter who died as long as it's not themselves. Cloud Dance looked at those people's ugly appearance at the moment of life and death, and his eyes were almost frozen. However, this is human nature. Fat Man looked at Snow Devil Wolf really came, also did not have the heart to quarrel with Thin Man. Xiao Wu, can you save your brother? Fat Man spoke with a cry cavity, a fat very rhythmic shaking out of a circle of waves, speak or shivering. Dragon Ching Evil Eyebrow Pika Pick languidly said, that is 5 levels of Warcraft are high-grade goods. My brother may not be able to save Fat Man, you'd better work hard. Fat Man is really about to be betrayed by Dragon's heresy at this moment. He almost tears. The wolf's eyes, like the blue ice, make the Fat Man have the illusion of falling into the ice cave. The next second, the Fat Man realized, this is not an illusion, it really recognized her. But with the Snow Devil Wolf approaching, the temperature on their side has been unbearably low. The grass on the ground withered quickly, and fat people began to breathe with white air. It's a hot summer, but here they are, it's like a cold winter. Fat Man thinks that if it goes on like this, even if it's not bitten to death by Snow Devil Wolf, it won't be long before it will freeze to death. As soon as he gritted his teeth, he pulled out a long sword he was carrying and dyed a fierce color on his face. Fight, fight! The voice is not falling. The Fat Man has used with his body shape is not consistent with the agility. Rush to the periphery of their circle. Be careful yourself. If you can't, you'll run. Anyway, it won't let me go. I'll buy you some time. Cloud Dance looks at the figure of Fat Man standing not far away. It seems a little unexpected. This Fat Man has been acting unreliable, afraid of death to almost shock, did not expect, there is such a side. So it seems that the Fat Man can help. Snow Devil Wolf is like a king who inspects his territory. He looks at the Fat Man contemptuously. He is very humanized and seems to complain that his fat meat is not delicious. However, in spite of this, Snow Devil Wolf still looked around the Fat Man and launched an attack. The powerful giant wolf sprang up from the ground, jumped into the air easily, and rushed towards the Fat Man. Why did you take a surprise attack? The Fat Man gave a strange cry and rolled on the ground in an awkward posture, which could avoid the Snow Devil Wolf's first trial. However, when he stopped rolling, as soon as he raised his eyes, the Snow Devil Wolf had already come a step away from it, covetous. The Cloud Dance finally had the cognition to the Snow Devil Wolf's speed. In the heart surprised unceasingly. In the short time just now, she almost only saw a flash of white shadow, and the Snow Devil Wolf had changed its position. In this case, even if she goes to war, I'm afraid she will suffer a great loss. Just when Yunwu thought about it, the Fat Man who ran away finally began to fight back. Your uncles, I will fight with you today. The Fat Man roared and filled his sword with fighting spirit. There was a layer of blood in his eyes. It looked terrible. Snow Devil Wolf was stunned by the momentum of the fleeing prey. He didn't understand how the human suddenly changed his personality. That is to say, taking advantage of the gap between the Snow Devil Wolf and the god. The Fat Man soared with all his strength, with the momentum of splitting mountains and seas, chopped at the Snow Devil Wolf. Super fast speed is the instinct of Snow Devil Wolf. At the moment when the Fat Man wields his sword, it moves to the other side. However, it may be that human potential can really explode. The Fat Man, who has been playing with Snow Devil Wolf all the time, gave him a wound with his sword before Snow Devil Wolf moved away. Oh, then the wound opened on the Snow Devil Wolf's neck. It wailed and stepped back 2 steps. In the end, it is because of the speed of the Snow Devil Wolf that the Fat Man can't find the right direction. Its wound is not too deep, but there is still a lot of blood. The snow-white fur is soaked with blood. Strangely, the blood of Snow Devil Wolf is also blue. The white fur seems to be dyed with a colorful pattern by blue blood, which adds a sense of terror to Snow Devil Wolf. The people in Gaoyuan sent out bursts of exclamations. This Fat Man, who seems to have the same strength as them, can actually leave wounds to the 5th level high-level Warcraft? The wound obviously gave Snow Devil Wolf a lot of stimulation. It a pair of ice-like blue eyes staring at the Fat Man. That look in the eyes, clearly is the iron heart. Want to put fat dead tear up can solve hate. Grandfather is really going to die in your hands. Fat Man after that blow, the whole person is dispirited down, his face pale, legs tremble, can't stand. Cloud Dance frowns at Fat Man, always feel that he seems to be just a little thin. Long Qingxia raises his eyebrows unexpectedly. He actually has the ability to improve his ability by force. Long Qingxia's words aroused the interest of Cloud Dance. Fat Man's breath just now was still in the middle of the 6th level. But that attack, I'm afraid, could be close to the middle of the 8th level? Although want to know this inside story very much. But, Dragon Qing evil but take Qiao similar, didn't open mouth to explain to her. Let Cloud Dance is speechless, but at this time, the Fat Man's state is at the end of the crossbow. The Snow Devil Wolf can kill him with a blow at will. The Snow Devil Wolf is bowing its powerful nape, and is about to rush to tear up the human who dares to hurt it. Another breath comes out of the crowd. The Fat Man turned to look at Yunwu and said with a bitter smile, "Xiao Wu, my brother is not joking with you. Hurry up and take people away." Although just now they all said with Gao Yuan that the Snow Devil Wolf had been here for a long time. But in the Fat Man's heart, he still felt that maybe he provoked the Snow Devil Wolf. Under such circumstances, he was really embarrassed to drag others to death. Yunwu stepped out of the crowd and naturally did not intend to turn back. Under the sight of the Snow Devil Wolf, he went to help the Fat Man. The weight of the Fat Man was as heavy as a hill, and his hands sank. Cloud Dance, forced to support the Fat Man, said to him, "Go what? Just you didn't want me to save you? I haven't played against Warcraft at level 5, so today is the time to accumulate experience. Take the Fat Man." With that, Yunwu pushes the Fat Man. Lao Hu and others rush to catch the Fat Man, and almost let him die. Snow Devil Wolf has just suffered a big loss on Fat Man. At this time he is very angry. However, the Snow Devil Wolf is more thoughtful and humanized than the ordinary level 5 Warcraft. This time, it seems that he doesn't dare to be his rival. Seeing the Cloud Dance appearing, he only stands ready to go and observes the strength of the Cloud Dance. Snow Devil Wolf and Cloud Dance confrontation. The whole camp again quiet down. Those who once mocked and despised Yunwu all showed disdainful smile after Yunwu took the initiative to stand up. Although fat people have never been in touch with the means of forcibly improving their ability just now, most of them have heard of it. Now look at the Fat Man's dispirited breath. You can see that he has paid a big price. However, he just left a wound on the Snow Devil Wolf, and did not cause any substantial damage to it. To this step, in fact, everyone's heart to defeat Snow Devil Wolf have no much hope. Now the appearance of Cloud Dance in their eyes is simply a mantis arm in the way of the car. Brother Longxi, can Xiao really do it? Alan, worried looking at Cloud Dance, asked a sentence to Dragon Qing Xia. Wearing that heavy fox fur cape, the body of Cloud Dancing looks like it is wrapped in the night by the cape, even weaker. Long Qingxia didn't answer Alan, but he was obsessed with the figure of Cloud Dance. His woman is so handsome. The night wind is more and more intense, with a piercing chill, through the clothes and skin, straight to the bones and muscles. Cold people feel bones are beginning to ache. Snow Devil Wolf observed the Cloud Dance for a long time, and found that this human is not great except for its powerful momentum. His ice blue wolf's eyes twinkled with a merciless and bloodthirsty light. What he had just suffered from the Fat Man, now he can find some from this dry little human. The howling wind blows the withered and yellow weeds to one side. There is a thin sword in Yunwu's hand. Now she is more and more proficient in using space bracelets, and she can use things only with her mind in a moment. When he saw the thin sword, the Snow Devil Wolf wanted to attack, but in the next second belonged to Warcraft's special sense of danger, as if to feel a threat, in the eyes of people cannot believe, even a little backsome. However, it soon returned to its previous proud appearance. Cloud Dance will Snow Devil Wolf's reaction in the eyes, juvenile face, with a little ironic smile. The smile quickly angered the Snow Devil Wolf. He let out a low roar. His strong limbs were tight, and his huge body was like a bowstring arrow, rushing toward the cloud. Yunwu just watched the battle between Fat Man and Snow Devil Wolf, so he paid great attention to the speed of Snow Devil Wolf. Before feeling the Snow Devil Wolf's power, Yunwu has poured the power into the fine sword. The body of the sword is buzzing. A dazzling flame is drawing a curve with black smoke in the middle of the sky, with a palpitating hot temperature, throwing sparks to the fast-moving white shadow. Just when Yunwu thought that she would stab the snow devil wolf with a sword, she saw the white shadow that was about to rush in front of her. But it suddenly blurred, and then disappeared completely. Cloud Dance Harda Lin, closed sword left and right to look around. But Snow Devil Wolf has completely disappeared in general, unable to find that white trace. To tell you the truth, for a second, Yunwu was a little surprised. But soon, Convergence heart wave, shoulders slightly sinking, the whole person is like a stopped javelin, eyes half open and half close. Mental power is directly in that moment, spread around. However, in everyone's eyes, Yunwu seems to have fallen into a semi-sleeping state. People outside the battle are curious about Yunwu's action. Is she going to abandon herself, waiting for Snow Devil Wolf to appear and bite her to death? However, how can Yunwu be such a person who easily give up? She just completely precipitated her consciousness and let her spiritual power merge with nature within 100 meters, so as to feel the existence of Snow Devil Wolf. The consciousness of Cloud Dance first sinks into itself, then flows along the meridians like invisible air, seems to evaporate out of the pores, and spreads around. At that moment, the sound of wind, water, insects, and even the beating of other people's hearts were all clear in Yunwu's mind. Cloud Dance sighed cautious perception of all the outside world, while in the heart is secretly surprised. Her mental strength is so much thicker than before? It turns out that after absorbing the oppression of Hyo and her spiritual power, she just doubled her spiritual power, but she didn't realize it. Is this a miracle? However, in the use of her mental power, she also found that the power of witchcraft in his body seems to have improved a little. Is there a trace of witchcraft in her body that needs to be stronger before she can improve? Cloud Dance doesn't dare to be too distracted. This Snow Devil Wolf, even if she uses her whole body strength, still dare not underestimate. Suddenly, the killing intention from behind makes Yunwu cool. Cloud Dance suddenly opened his eyes, the dark eyes at this time like two deep bottomless spiral nests, strands of purple around them. They didn't see how Yunwu moved at all, so they heard a wail burst out behind her. At this time everyone saw it. Yunwu turns around and attacks. The sword penetrates the snow wolf's left shoulder straightly. The blue hot body flows out along the wound of the snow wolf's left shoulder, and dyes the white fur of its left front leg blue. On the thin sword in Yunwu's hand, the flame soared for a moment and evaporated the blue liquid on the sword. The body of the sword wrapped by the flame is shining with the cold light opposite to the flame. Those who once spoke rudely to the cloud all have a sense of suffocation that the blade of the sword passed through their heart. Snow Devil Wolf obviously rarely, or even never, suffered this kind of damage in human beings. It lowers its head, licks its own wound, bares its sharp teeth, and sends out a threat to Yunwu. Cloud Dance Cold Eye glanced at it one eye, cold way. Your teeth are used to tear up the enemy, not to scare people? Snow Devil Wolf doesn't understand Yunwu's words, but Yunwu's aloof attitude can make it feel completely. It is extremely angry, but dare not attack easily. Twice belittle the enemy, let it more and more seriously injured. To its this class of warcraft, will not do that kind of only know to fight to death. Gao Yuan saw Cloud Dance and Snow Devil Wolf fall into confrontation again, and his heart almost jumped out of his heart. Impulsively he shouts to Yunwu, "Kill it soon!" Cloud Dance and Snow Devil Wolf sweep to Gao Yuan with cold eyes at the same time. The eyes can't tell who is more fierce than who, which makes Gao Yuan have the illusion that maybe they are the same kind. If you don't kill it now, you will die first. Gao Yuan restrained the trembling of his heart, and gave orders to Yunwu. Finally, Gao Yuan added a threat. If you don't do it again, I'll find a way to help you. Long Qingxia looks at Gao Yuan without any emotion. His eyes are like looking at a dead man. Although Lao Hu and others are not happy with the high threat in their hearts, they really need to count on Yunwu to defeat Snow Devil Wolf before they have a chance of survival. Unexpectedly, Yunwu said to Gao Yuan, "Since you are in such a hurry, let it be yours." Gao Yuan's face turned blue. I didn't expect Yunwu to be so cruel. Then, Yunwu, holding a fine sword, made a gesture of no longer attacking the Snow Devil Wolf, and stepped back a few steps. Snow Devil Wolf doesn't understand why Cloud Dance suddenly retreats, but it knows the strong killing intention released by the human just now. Different from Cloud Dance, which is an invisible opponent. The human power can be seen at a glance. After weighing the two, Snow Devil Wolf took another look at the temporarily harmless cloud dance. Finally, he paced to the height where he almost had to sit down with soft legs. Gao Yuan's face was covered with cold sweat. When he was staring at by Snow Devil Wolf's eyes, he smelled the smell of death. He didn't dare to move away the sight of the Snow Devil Wolf. His voice was extremely sad and shrill, accusing Cloud Dance. Why did you do that? You mean it? You want to kill me? Yunwu leisurely walked back to Laohu, and they had no guilt for Gao Yuan's harsh accusation. Aren't you in a hurry to kill it? Since you are not satisfied with my speed, let you do it yourself. In this way, people from both Gao Yuan and Laohu feel that their throats are tight. They look down upon the young man. And finally, the first one to get the retribution appeared. But Laohu and his friends are just celebrating. They are friends, not enemies. Gao Yuan knows that he has no room to retreat now. He will die if he doesn't fight. Everyone cover me. I'll find a chance to kill this beast. When he said this, the response to him was the crowd in front of him, like the Red Sea of Moses. Gao Yuan stares at those who dare not look at him. Unexpectedly, they let him die. However, he did not think that his initial arrangements were just for his own life to let others die for him. In the twinkling of an eye, the crowd all scattered towards both sides. Snow Devil Wolf looked like being worshipped, arrogantly toward the high. The distance between one man and one wolf is getting closer and closer. Am I not as good as a suckling boy? Gao Yuan's eyes were all red. He drew out his sword and burst out like gunpowder. Everyone knew that he was going to risk his life. However, Gao Yuan's fighting resistance is not worth mentioning in the eyes of Snow Devil Wolf. The ice blue wolf eye looks at Gao Yuan mercilessly. The next second, the white shadow flashes, and the Snow Devil Wolf's figure disappears in the same place. Is as like as 2 peas before it was used to deal with cloud dancing. At this time, Gao Yuan still had some luck. Even the boy could detect the attack of Snow Devil Wolf. Of course he could. The night wind blows the trees and leaves rustle down. Gao Yuan was surprised and used all his strength to attack in that direction. When the hand that moment, Gao Yuan's heart suddenly cold. There's nothing there. When Gao Yuan realized this, Snow Devil Wolf's huge figure appeared quietly behind him. The huge shadow will cover Gao Yuan. Before he even has time to look back, he is knocked down on the ground by Snow Devil Wolf. Strong and powerful wolf claws slap Gao Yuan down. The sound of bone fragmentation crackles. Gao Yuan poof, spurts out a mouthful of blood. Red blood in the air presents a fog, like a piece of red smoke. When Gao Yuan's body falls to the ground heavily, it makes a sound that is not like humans' pain. This series of voices, like the death knell, ring in everyone's ears. Snow Devil Wolf's claw is pressing Gao Yuan's strength. Suddenly, it explodes his whole upper body directly from his back. Blood splashes everywhere. Gao Yuan's chest collapses into a pile of fuzzy broken bones and rotten meat. The man who thought he was king in this camp not long ago has died completely. Then something even more chilling happened. Gao Yuan's body freezes under Snow Devil Wolf's claws, and finally becomes an ice sculpture. Under the cold moonlight, there was a bright reflection on the ice sculpture. Snow Devil Wolf grinned, showing white fangs, looking like a ferocious smile. He looked down at the high corpse and was satisfied with his masterpiece. Then it lowers its head one bite at a time, and eats the ice sculpture made by it. Click! Click! The sound of the broken ice was heard one after another. Everyone was in a trance and had the illusion that he was eaten by the Snow Devil Wolf. The broken ice splashed to the surrounding ground, and the big mouth of the Snow Devil Wolf soon devoured the ice sculpture, or the dead Gao Yuan. Gao Yuan, as if he had never existed in this world, completely disappeared. Snow Devil Wolf's cruel means of hunting destroyed most people's resistance to it. This Snow Devil Wolf is so powerful. In front of such a warcraft, they are so small, just like mole ants, which can only become its food. The group of people who used to follow in the distance retreated step by step, surrounded by boundless darkness. The piercing cold wind was whistling all the time, which made people feel painful. Don't kill me, don't kill me. Please. The first person who broke down appeared. He knelt down on his knees and kowtowed to the snow devil wolf. His face was full of tears. He looked too frightened to speak. More and more people choose to give up their self-esteem and prostrate themselves to a warcraft, as if they are worshipping the king or death. Cloud Dance looked at them indifferently, with no sympathy in mind. The law of the jungle: if you are a weak person, you can even give up your dignity. What's the meaning of living for such a person? Coco was so scared by what just happened that she shrank in Lao Hu's arms and couldn't even speak. Fat Man panted weakly. As the only one who had ever fought with Snow Devil Wolf except Yunwu, his eyes were full of despair. I can kneel down to a beast. The desire of these people to survive is so strong that I feel sorry for myself. Long Qingxia sneered, with disdain in his eyes, and said sarcastically, he and Yunwu are the same kind of people. For them, even death will not accept any humiliation. A land with people rushed out of a middle-aged man ran to the dragon in front of the evil. What's wrong with not wanting to die? You're not afraid to die. Go and kill that warcraft. The middle-aged man rushed to the shock of reason and roared at the dragon. Alan wants to stop him when he rushes out, but it's a step too late. Hearing the middle-aged man's words, Alan dragged him back with a sad face. Uncle Gio, don't talk about it. We'll be fine if they're here. Now the boy named Xiao Wu and his elder brother Long Si are the last hope of everyone. He can't let the middle-aged people infuriate Long Si. If their two brothers leave, they will really die. Dragon Qing evil light looking at that man. I ground does not take half-cent emotion, that look in the eyes, more icy than Snow Devil Wolf's eyes. If you have the ability, fight for your own life. If you don't have the ability, admit it. Nine Uncle listened to his words. The face is covered by the color of despair, finally can't resist the pressure, broke into tears. Not far away, Snow Devil Wolf is killing its prey one by one. In the face of human beings running around, it seems to get a new pleasure. After hurting them and making them unable to escape, it goes to find the next target and enjoys it. The bleak cry for help, the cry of despair, the groan of pain, all joined together in the camp. Shuddering, Old Hu took out the signal bomb Ling and gave him, and opened the fuse. The signal bomb flew into the sky and exploded a colorful fireworks in the night. Yunwu was annoyed by the noise. She stood up and looked at the people who were like the bereaved dogs. Finally, she had a little action. Once under the Snow Devil Wolf claw in tax survival, even can let the Snow Devil Wolf slightly afraid of Cloud Dance, has been the focus of all people. As she stood up, everyone followed her movements and looked up at her as if he were looking at a god who could save himself. The momentum of Cloud Dance also makes Snow Devil Wolf feel. It stopped the cat and mouse game, turned to face the clouds, just some hunting, so that it belongs to the beast's blood boiling up. In the face of this human who once gave himself a heavy blow, he now very much wants him to become an ice sculpture and be swallowed by himself. Cloud Dance hands appear again, that handle of flame-shrouded thin sword. She attentively found Snow Devil Wolf's shoulder wound has healed. It seems that eating Gao Yuan is its way of healing. Fortunately, it hasn't eaten more people yet. Long Qingxia, who has been letting Cloud Dance fight with Snow Devil Wolf, suddenly reaches out his hand and stops her. Xiao Wu, I'll go. Cloud Dance looked at him, did not speak, straight to the Snow Devil Wolf. It's her opponent and she doesn't need anyone to step in. This is the pride of Cloud Dance. Long Qingxia knew the idea of Cloud Dance. Instead of forcibly stopping her, he stepped back and let her go. Lao Hu and others originally saw that Long Qingxia wanted to take action, but they thought that things had greater hope. After all, it's better for two people to join hands than for one. Snow Devil Wolf's scarlet tongue stretched out and licked the corner of his mouth. When he grinned, his expression was so ferocious that Yunwu felt disgusted. Get the injured out of my way. Cloud Dance had also didn't return of Command A. At first, no one dares to carry away the injured people, but Lao Hu and Alan are the first to walk cautiously. After confirming that Snow Devil Wolf's attention is on Cloud Dance, they quickly drag back a wounded person. Other people see this scene, also have the courage with the fastest speed, the guys who cannot move together. In the face of Snow Devil Wolf, Yunwu knows that now is not the time for her to blindly hide her strength. Unless she wants to die, or she wants to rely on the dragon to save her. Yunwu raises the thin sword, cuts a hole on the index finger, and the blood flows out. She will blood in his eyebrow point, white skin as a clear guanine mole. The smell of blood stimulated the snow devil wolf. It roared at the cloud dance, and felt the different breath in the blood of the cloud dance. Eating this human, for it, must be more beneficial. When Snow Devil Wolf greedily pours on Yunwu, Yunwu's own breath suddenly rises. Middle 6th stage. Early 7th stage. The breath of cloud dance flew all the way to the peak of the 7th level in the eyes of everyone, and then it stopped like a sudden break. Snow Devil Wolf found that it was too late for him to feel afraid of the cloud dance. That is always wrapped in flame, fierce thin sword, this time silent. The flame on the sword body is like flowing magma, surging with the power of terror under calm. Cloud dance raises the fine sword, delimits to Snow Devil Wolf's strong neck. Blue blood gushed out, a few drops splashed on Yunwu's face. Snow Devil Wolf rolled down in the air. A deep gully with several visible bones appeared at the neck, and the blue blood gushed out like a spring. The howling of wild animals is even more terrifying on such a dark and cold night. Lao Hu and others have been completely stupid. They did guess that the power of cloud dance might be stronger than what she showed. However, no one has the courage to guess that she has reached the top of the 7th level at such an age. This time, they may really be saved. Cloud Dance looked at the Snow Devil Wolf rolling on the ground, not as optimistic as Lao Hu and them. Sure enough, Snow Devil Wolf's wound healed quickly at the speed visible to the naked eye. At this time, Yunwu realized that no wonder, as a 5th-level warcraft, it would patiently wait around the camp, waiting for an opportunity to attack humans. It seems that eating a human is of great help to it. After the wound healed, the Snow Devil Wolf, who was completely angered, gave out a long howl to Yunwu. In a flash, others can only see a string of white shadows flying in front of the clouds. No one can tell which white shadow is the real Snow Devil Wolf. And with the white shadow around Yunwu, Yunwu himself also found something. The temperature around her is dropping fast. Not a long time later, Yunwu's hair and eyebrows were covered with a thin layer of frost. If it goes on like this, soon her blood will freeze, her hands and feet will be stiff, and she will become the same ice sculpture as Gao Yuan. Damn it! Long Qingxia's fierce black eyes shrank the cloud dance surrounded by white shadow. Compared with the calm cloud dance, his heart was held by an invisible hand and raised high. Yunwu, who is in the shadow of white, also knows that the most important thing now is not to delay. Yunwu thinks quickly, and her eyes are bright. The power flowing on the thin sword is like magma, which flows back to the cloud-dancing body. She coagulates the whole body's strength to swim along the meridians again and again, and the steaming fog melts the chill on her body. Then a more bizarre scene happened. Cloud Dance body, tongue up a thin layer of flame, the flame close to her but did not hurt her. When the cold brought by the Snow Devil Wolf is useless to Yunwu, Yunwu once again uses the spiritual power to find out the real position of the Snow Devil Wolf. This time, Yunwu directly closed her eyes completely. After blocking the visual interference, everything around her was clearly reflected in her mind. Those white shadows are getting slower and slower. When a clear beast body appears, Yunwu suddenly raises his hand, and his whole body's strength converges to the sword body in an instant, stabbing at an empty position behind him. With her sword, Snow Devil Wolf's huge body also appeared. This time, the Snow Devil Wolf has always been on guard. The sword of Cloud Dance just cuts off a piece of skin on its body, not a big wound. The next scene, once again let the camp hope to be rescued, was beaten back to the abyss of despair. Snow Devil Wolf's body healed again. That monster, can't it die? The thin man gritted his teeth and scolded. If it goes on like this, even if Cloud Dance has the strength of the 7th level peak, it will be dragged by the Snow Devil Wolf sooner or later, until it runs out of strength and dies. Long Qingxia looks at the stubborn Cloud Dance and sighs silently. Without any hesitation, he walked towards Yunwu. Snow Devil Wolf was hurt by Cloud Dance again and again, but it never brought any substantial damage to Cloud Dance. Such humiliation made it more and more fierce and violent. However, it does not know that its real death is coming. Dragon Qing evil with a yang, A golden fly to tear the air, straight into the snow devil wolf's shoulder. It didn't even have time to react, so it suffered such an injury. Soon, the snow devil wolf was frightened to find that the wound caused by the dart could not be healed. It looks at the dragon walking towards the leisure court, and the warcraft that has been swaggering in front of human beings begins to have fear. Long Qingxia put his hand on Yunwu's shoulder and said softly, "I'll take this snow devil wolf. Soon, you can catch the 5th level warcraft by yourself, just like this one." Cloud Dance is not willing to look at the snow devil wolf that grins and growls to himself, and holds the fine sword in his hand, unwilling to retreat like this. She doesn't really have nothing to do with this snow devil wolf. She has her cards. However, she has now exposed her real strength. Yunwu doesn't want to use the remaining cards easily. A 5th level warcraft, if all need to use the card of Baomingdu, how can she go on this alien road? Yunwu's wrist moved, and the thin sword disappeared in her hands. Be careful. Although we know that the strength of Dragon Qingxia is much stronger than ourselves, Cloud Dance still asks before leaving. Because of these 3 simple words, there is a rare knowing smile on Long Qingxia's face. It's just a 5th order warcraft. Don't worry. In spite of the public's eyes, Long Qingxia pulls Yunwu into his arms for a while, and then lets her go. Although it is such a critical moment of life and death, there are still many people have a different feeling on this issue. That kind of hug, especially the expression of Dragon Qingxia. It's not like a brother, it's like a couple. Yunwu is very uncomfortable with the embrace of Long Qingxi. But when she wants to push it away, Long Qingxi already holds the épée and walks towards the snow devil wolf. Yunwu returns to the camp. In other people's strange eyes, she looks at the one-sided crush of the snow devil wolf by Dragon Qingxia. Yes, it's just like snow devil wolf hunting other people before. It's totally different in strength. Snow devil wolf proud of the speed is not worth mentioning at all. Long Qingxia can always be faster than it, one step ahead of time to seize the opportunity. Soon snow devil wolf's snow-white fur scarred, blue blood soaked with its fur. Wet fur close to the snow devil wolf's strong body, but full of scars, let it look more and more embarrassed. The dragon's action is always very simple, as if it is just a random sideways step sword. But every time, it was so accurate that it left more and more wounds on the snow devil wolf. In the end, the snow devil wolf devours Gao Yuan's strength and finally runs out, unable to heal for him. Everyone felt that the time passed very long, but they felt that the time ran very fast. Just in a short time, every movement of Dragon's evil spirit was shown in front of them like a slow-motion camera. And when all the dust settled, the snow devil wolf, which made them desperate, was on the verge of death and could not stand up on the ground. Long Qingxia looked down at the snow devil wolf, who could only give out a weak whimper, and approached step by step with the épée in his hand. Snow devil wolf's voice trembled, and his eyes even showed some weakness and pleading expression when human beings begged for mercy. However, these are useless in front of the dragon. Puff! The sound of the blade penetrating through the skin is so clear that the snow devil wolf with little power suffered the last blow. Ice blue eyes gradually lose luster, and finally become a dead silence. Am I dreaming? Thin Man shook God's self-talk, even raised his hand to give himself a loud slap. The pain made him laugh like a psychopath. Thin people's laughter is like the smell of firecrackers spreading in the streets during the Chinese New Year, which soon infected everyone with joy. Dad, we are saved. We won't die. Coco, my good daughter. Lao, who was holding Coco, and the father and daughter began to cry. Other people are also blushing, full of unspeakable surprise and surprise. It seems that people can't think of this group of normal people. That is a kind of afterlife, moved by the excitement and joy. The cloud dances a face to have no facial expression of looking at, to crawl at the dragon, to pour evil at the foot of 5-order warcraft. In the heart say not clear is what taste. Her current strength is definitely not weak. Although I can't help being the snow devil wolf of the 5th level warcraft, it's absolutely no problem to protect myself in front of the snow devil wolf. However, if we want to solve the snow devil wolf like Dragon Qingxia, her strength is far from enough. In front of such a picture, Yunwu felt his weakness so clearly, and the desire for absolute power. She must be stronger. Long Qingxie takes the épée back into the space ring, sweeps away the cold and cruel look on his face, and walks to Yunwu with a smile. It's a pity that you shouldn't leave so many wounds on him. Otherwise, the cloak made of snow devil wolf's fur will be more suitable for you. Yunwu is not interested in that kind of foreign things. She is not one of those charming little girls. A fur cape can please her. If you have that idea, why don't you tell me how you plan to help me improve my strength? Long Qingxie rubbed his forehead in distress and said to Yunwu, "Can't people please him a little more easily?" Lao Hu and they all secretly touch each other with a look of horror, watching Cloud dance and Dragon pour out evil spirits. Who dares to say that they are brothers in this mode of getting along? They are not blind. They don't have eyes at all. However, after seeing the real strength of Dragon Qingxie, no one would dare to say anything to them. In front of absolute strength, everything else is nonsense. Long Qingxie looks at the calm old Hu and tells them a few words. Deal with the snow devil wolf's body. It's time for Nangong-yi to come here. I don't want others to know that I killed the snow devil wolf. Do you understand? Some of the people were timid, and they were absolutely obedient to the dragon's orders. With Dragon Qingxie as easy to kill snow devil wolf, his strength is definitely above level 8, even up to level 9. People of this rank can't be provoked at all. I don't know. If they know that they are facing a warrior, will they be directly stunned? Brother 5. Coco wanted to say something to Yunwu, but he was pulled away by Lao Hu. Cloud Dance vaguely heard Lao Hu to Coco taught a few words about don't let her and the dragon pour evil annoy what. Long Qingxie hugs Yunwu from behind, and her beautiful chin is on her shoulder. Little things, they are regarded as rare treasures. How do you feel? The rare treasure is you. Don't bind me to you. Cloud Dance also some care about the last snow devil wolf was Dragon Qingxie easily clean up this matter. Some pimple in the heart. Long Qingxie chuckled, pasted it in Yunwu's ear and asked her in a low voice. Little thing, do you think that husband is a rare treasure? I think you're a rag. Yunwu bends her arm and gives Long Qingxie a turn behind her. Long Qingxie responds quickly to avoid it, but she pretends to be in pain and refuses to let go. Little thing, you are murdering your husband. Come on, give him some compensation. Long Qingxie tilts Cloud Dance. Although Cloud Dance has been resisting, it is still kissed by Long Qingxie on the tip of White Jade's ear. The delicate touch and warm breath on Long Qingxie's lips make Yunwu feel embarrassed. She looked up and saw Lao Hu. They were all red-faced and secretly looking at this side. Think of now and Dragon Qing evil our male identity. Even call each other brotherhood. Immediately in the head of a bang. Stay away from me. Don't be so shameless with me all the time. Cloud Dance suddenly sink face. A push away dragon pour evil. Snow devil wolf after death temperature gradually rise. Seeing that the man wants to stick his face, Yunwu takes off the fox fur cloak that Dragon Qingxie put on her and hits him in the face. As soon as the dragon's evil detective grasped it, he put the cloak in his arms without any embarrassment. Little things, you are very considerate. You should leave the clothes you wear for your husband, so that he can treasure them. Long Qingxie didn't want Yunwu to get angry. He still kept his voice light. Only the two of them could hear him. Don't talk nonsense. Yunwu grins at the dragon, grins at her like a rogue, and puts the cape back into the space. Anyway, under the shameless degree of dragon's evil, what she does will give dragon's evil reason to say dirty words. Today, if she didn't return the cloak to Long Qingxie, she would have accepted the token of love. Well, don't be angry. I promise you that when you can get out of Warcraft Forest, you can catch a snow wolf and peel it to make a new cloak. How about that? Cloud Dance think of the strength gap between himself and dragon. This snow devil wolf is a too clear watershed. If you can really hunt snow devil wolf alone, it's also a representative. She has a lot of strength. After all, Long Qingxie made a promise with her at the beginning. How are you going to help me improve my strength then? Long Qingxie narrowed his eyes, and there was a twinkle in his eyes. Secret, if you please me, I will tell you. Cloud Dance, oh a not deceived way. Love to say not to say anyway when I will know. Long Qingxie also wants to tease the clouds for a few more words, So Ling'an comes with many bodyguards. This is Snow Devil Wolf? Ling'an was stunned and looked at the warcraft being skinned on the ground. He was so surprised that he couldn't close his mouth. This is the 5th level warcraft. How can you die here? Lao Hu and they looked at each other and explained to Ling'an according to the words they had just set up. The first one who opened his voice was Thin. He nodded his head and said, "Yes, this Snow Devil Wolf seems to be injured. After arriving here, he still wants to eat people." After that, Alan and several of them started to talk nonsense. "We thought that left and right is a death, so we joined hands to fight with it. Thanks to our luck. Unfortunately, Gao Yuan's luck is a little bit worse." In the end, Lao Hu said, "Yes, you can see that many of them were injured, but one of them died." Ling'an listened to their words and looked at the wounded of dozens of people. The color of doubt on her face faded a lot. There are more than 100 people here. They can attack and kill the Snow Devil Wolf of level 5. Although they still feel a little unreliable. However, coupled with the high level of risking one's life, the credibility is much stronger. It's really the face of death that can stimulate people's extraordinary potential. These injured people, you arrange to send them away. I'll double the commission and give them another part of the medicine money. After Ling'an explained these, he left with the bodyguard. Now Nangong-yi is poisoned, and all his strength can't be used. Ling'an is very worried about leaving him. After Ling'an is dealt with, Lao Hu and others tear down the Snow Devil Wolf directly. Everything from teeth to bones that can be sold for money is left. As for the Snow Devil Wolf's meat, because the meat was too hard, it was simply thrown into the distant woods by the old Hu's emissary. Yunwu had no interest in these things, and her purpose of entering Warcraft Forest was never to make a living. But when Lao Hu came over with something carefully and mysteriously, Yunwu couldn't help picking his eyebrows. "Uncle Hu, what's this?" Old Hu expression some flustered, embarrassed to Cloud Dance way. "Small 5, you call me Old Hu can. I'm used to calling you Uncle Hu, so I won't change. What are you holding?" Yunwu knows that Lao Hu and them are not afraid to ignore her and the dragon because of the difference in strength, so they are all a little nervous. No matter. It can be seen that Yunwu doesn't want to be too unfamiliar with himself, which makes Lao Hu happy. Yunwu even sees pride on his bearded face. Lao Hu showed Cloud Dance what he was holding in his hand, and his tone was a little excited. "Xiao Wu, this is the core of the 5th Order Warcraft that we took from the head of Snow Devil Wolf." "Magic core? I found this thing in fact, when I entered Warcraft Forest for the first time before. I was asked to do it by the Samurai Academy. Of course, they were all low-level magic cores. The Snow Devil Wolf is a 5th Order Warcraft, and naturally has a magic core. Yunwu took the Cold Demon core from Lao Hu. As soon as he got it, he felt a chill in his palm. The magic core is not very big, but just the right size on the palm. The core itself is almost transparent crystal-like object, with bursts of inging blue light in it. It looks very beautiful. This Snow Devil Wolf was hunted by you and your brother. We will give you most of the money after we sell it. However, the core of the 5th level Warcraft is precious, so we won't take advantage of it." Lao Hu explained the matter a little. Because of the strength of level 5 Warcraft, level 5 and above magic cores are very rare in the market. This is also the decision he made after discussing with Alan and others. The magic of level 5 Warcraft is very tempting to them. However, if you can use this magic core in exchange for the favor of Cloud Dance and Dragon Qingxia, for them, the value is definitely much greater than a magic core. Long Qingxia is not interested in the core of the 5th level Warcraft. I want to know that for a man who can easily hunt Snow Devil Wolf, this kind of 5-level magic core is just as much as he wants. It's not worth mentioning at all. What's more, he also has a dragon pavilion, which is as rich as any other country. Long Qingxia saw that Yunwu weighed the magic core in his hand and said to her, "Xiao Wu, since Lao Hu has given it to you, you can take it. In such a sultry weather, it's not bad even if it's used to resist the summer heat." With that, Long Qingxia suddenly added a smile. Lao Hu couldn't laugh or cry when he listened to Long Qingxia's words. So precious are 5 levels of magic core, actually used to resist the heat? This is not a waste. However, this thing was for them. Naturally, he couldn't say anything, so he stood beside him in embarrassment. Cloud Dance thought about it, seemed to feel very good, also nodded. Then I'll take it, Uncle Hu, thank you. Cloud Dance put the magic core into the space bracelet and said thanks to Lao Hu. The other side waved his hand in fear. Because of the special relationship between Yunwu and Long Qingxi, Lao Hu didn't stay long. After giving things to Yunwu, he left quickly. The camp was completely warmed up, but the flowers and plants that were frozen to death last night were unable to regain their vitality. Cloud Dance looks at the horizon. A touch of orange-red from the thin clouds. The red is more and more thick, like a burning flame. At the most gorgeous moment of the fire, the huge fireball leaped out from the horizon. It's morning. I didn't sleep all night, and I experienced another battle that hit Yunwu hard. When she saw the daybreak, she suddenly felt tired and sleepy. Long Qingxia noticed the weariness of Cloud Dance. Little thing, go to sleep in the tent. Yunwu didn't refuse, so she got up and went back to the tent. After a while, Long Qingxia went to the tent to confirm that Yunwu was asleep. He told Lao Hu that they should take good care of Yunwu. Then he left alone and went into the woods. Lao Hu and others did not know what he was going to do, but no one dared to ask him. Yunwu sleeps very uneasily. In his dream, he always dreams about the magic flame. Sometimes the blood-red flame becomes a ball. Sometimes it breaks into red Mars. Yunwu feels that she wakes up after a short sleep. She lifts the curtain of the tent and looks out. Lao Hu and others have already finished their work, and they all start to have a rest in shifts. Now the leader guarding the camp is Alan. Alan has been paying attention to the movement of the tent. As soon as she wakes up, she goes over quickly. Xiaowu, what can I do for you? Cloud Dance is now fully awake. She searched around the camp, did not see the dragon's evil figure. What about Dragon 4? Where did he go? Alan Honest said. Dragon 4 elder brother after you fall asleep said to leave for a while. Now has not come back. How long have I slept? It's been a morning, and I'm still wondering if I'll call you for lunch, and you'll wake up by yourself. Cloud Dance nodded. Think of Dragon Qing evil oneself, a person disappear, always feel some unhappy. Since leaving the imperial city, she has hardly separated from Long Qingxia. Now he leaves without saying hello. Yunwu has the illusion of being left behind. Xiaowu, take a rest. I'll call you when lunch is ready. Alan see Cloud Dance seems to be in a bad mood, no longer say anything. Long Qingxia is not here. Yunwu finds out that she doesn't even have anyone to talk to. Bored, Yunwu returns to the tent, meditates and sinks his spirit into the sea of consciousness and enters the Hall of Chaos. This time, Hayo didn't sit in the Chaos Hall in a daze, but was reading a book that didn't know where it came from. Seeing the Cloud Dance coming, Hayo closes the book, and the book disappears like the black fog on Hayo's body. Cloud Dance points to Black Proud empty hand to ask away. Where come of book? I've lived so long, and I have a few books. It's normal. Hearing that Hayo claimed to be my seat, Yunwu immediately understood that he was not willing to say more about those things. However, Yunwu has never been a person who can get to the bottom of the matter and dig up gossip. Hayo doesn't say it, so she talks about the business. Hayo, you said before that Danfeng can make you recover your strength. Tell me about all the other materials. Hayo is not as keen on it as Yunwu imagined. He seems to be more and more calm about the recovery of strength. Although other materials are easy to find compared with Wudu Stone, they are not accessible to your current level. You always have to tell me first that in case I meet you, I can keep things. Black AO to Cloud Dance insist helpless, will Danfeng all told Cloud Dance. In addition to the 5 venom stones used to make medicine, and the venom of the man-eating snake used to evoke medicine, I also need emerald vine, Zhilong grass, and a 7th level Warcraft core with that. Hayo shakes his head and smiles without any hope. After listening to Cloud Dance, he also frowned. Fiketing and Zelenko are actually recorded in the Dragon Scroll, but the location is in addition. A 7th-level Warcraft's magic core is enough to make her worried. The 7th-level Warcraft is by no means comparable to the 5th-level Warcraft like Snow Devil Wolf. To the 7th level of Warcraft, has been breeding wisdom, with the mind began to break away from the general sense of the beast concept. For Warcraft, not to mention level 5, even level 6 and level 7 are like a watershed. For humans, level 5 Warcraft can still be hunted in the way of catching animals, but no one will choose to provoke level 7 Warcraft. The current strength of Cloud Dance, even in front of the 5th level of Warcraft, are just barely self-protection. The 6th level of Warcraft, for now she is really difficult. With your current strength you can't do it. Let it be. On the contrary, Hyo said it calmly. After that, he remembered Hongling and Little Red Snake trapped in the black fog. He said to the cloud with dissatisfaction. That little monster, when are you going to take it away? What happened to Hongling? Nothing. I don't want to see it. Since he was imprisoned in Chaos Hall for many years, he has been the exclusive territory of Hyo himself. He was forced into a small monster by Cloud Dance. It's okay to stay for 2 days, but he felt a little dissatisfied if he wanted to keep it for a long time. Wait a little longer, I'll let it out in a while. Cloud Dance also has no way. She is really not suitable to take Hongling to swagger through the market now. In fact, there is one more thing Yunwu didn't say. After entering the Shenhuang Samurai Academy, I'm afraid Hongling will become a long-term resident of Chaos Hall. Just see Black AO to Redling's antipathy attitude. Cloud Dance still plans to postpone this matter to mention again. Hyo wants to say something to Yunwu, but Yunwu keenly feels the disturbance outside. Hyo, I want to go back first. Don't throw Hongling out suddenly. With that, the cloud dancing figure dissipated in the Chaos Hall. Hyo closed his mouth in silence, staring at the place where the cloud disappeared for a while. He turned the palm of his hand, found the book again, and continued to read it. The cloud dance consciousness returns to cage. Open an eye to see Long Qingxia lift the curtain of tent, walked in. The light in the tent was dim. Long Qingxia stood at the door with the curtain half open. The sun was shining from behind and around him. Cloud Dance suddenly opened his eyes. Was stabbed by the light, can't help squinting. In the blurred vision, the whole person of Dragon Qingxia is covered with a circle of hairy Phnom Penh by the sun. Which is not true. Dragon Qing evil rarely see Cloud Dance, so it can be said that when it is lovely, the fundus of the eye shows the interest that can't be hidden. Little thing, do you want to sleep till night? Cloud Dance raised his hand to cover his eyes, and finally gradually adapted to the light from the outside world, and got up from the mat on the ground. She left the tent with Long Qingxia and went to the place where the smoke was burning. Cloud Dance casually asked, "Where did you just go?" "Go to the woods and see if there are any warcraft around here." Dragon Qing evil body shape extremely slight pause for a while. Even Cloud Dance can't notice. There is no loophole in Long Qingxia's words, but Yunwu just feels that something is wrong. When Lao Hu saw them coming, he handed them the meal he had prepared in advance. Lao Hu pointed to a carriage not far away, and said happily, "Today Mr. Nangong sent someone to send some food materials. The rice made by Coco is delicious." Long Qingxia couldn't see the joy and anger. He took a look at the carriage, and looked back indifferently. Coco has always been delicious. Fortunately, Yunwu said that, otherwise, Lao Hu would not be able to get off the stage. Knowing that he might be annoying, Lao Hu pulled a few words, and went back to the crowd. Long Qingxia took chopsticks and fiddled with the food in the bowl. He didn't seem to have any appetite. He looked at Yunwu, who was concentrating on eating, and suddenly said, "Little thing, we'll leave tonight." Leaving tonight? Cloud Dance doesn't understand his meaning. This suddenly how so anxious? In fact, Yunwu doesn't mean that she doesn't agree to go with him. She just wants to know if there's any way to help Nangong get rid of the poison, and give him a favor. "For my husband said to go, you follow, you are not anxious to enhance the strength of it?" Long Qingxia seems to be impatient today. He frowns and looks at Yunwu. In his eyes like black gemstone, besides irritability, there are some things Yunwu can't understand. It's also at this time that Yunwu finds out that Long Qingxia, who is always full of spirit, has some green and black color at the moment. After seeing Long Qingxia's face carefully in the sun, Yunwu always feels that his breath is not right now. A little weak, or rather, he looks tired. It's just like an ordinary person who suddenly climbs the mountain for a few days and nights in a short time. It gives people the same feeling. What's the matter with you? Aren't you feeling well? Long Qingxia said angrily. It's good for my husband. As long as you don't think about other men all day long, there's nothing wrong with my husband. Yunwu was upset by Longqing's heresy, but he thought that Longqing had taken more care of himself since he entered the Warcraft forest, so he forbeared for a moment and said to him, "If you feel sick, I'll show you." "No, just remember to go with my husband tonight." With these words, Long Qingxia didn't eat any food and went into the tent. The cloud dance is hung there by the dragon's evil, and it's very angry in my heart. The fat man came over with a bowl in his hands. Today's food is rare and rich, which makes his mouth full of oil. Xiao Wu, have you quarreled with your brother? No, it's just something he said that I don't agree with. Cloud Dance now see Fat, only to find that last night she felt Fat lost a circle is not an illusion. Fat man's clothes used to be tight, but today they are looser. The fat man laughed and said, "This is a fight. Your brother is very kind to you. Don't make him angry all the time." "Well, I know." Cloud Dance casually shade to Fat Man's words and didn't put on the heart. "Hey, I'm too talkative. You two know the most about your brothers. Come on, I haven't had enough when I go back to dinner." Yunwu's attitude did not bring any harm to the Fat Man. He looked at Yunwu, laughed at himself, recited and went away with a bowl. Cloud Dance, on the other hand, looks at the back of the Fat Man and guesses what kind of past he has. Last night, the Fat Man forced to enhance the strength of the method, who did not see out, and this kind of thing, Fat himself is absolutely will not say. Yunwu originally wanted to ask Long Qingxi, but looking at her posture this time, she could not ask anything. After lunch, because Long Qingxia occupied the tent, Coco, the only girl, had to rest in the temporary shed outside like other men in the team. Yunwu looks at Coco and a group of big men lying on the same mat, and then thinks about the dragon in the tent, so he feels a little depressed. She quickly approached the tent, opened the curtain to see why the man suddenly lost his temper, but suddenly heard the black arrogant stop from Chaos Hall. "Don't yell at him. He won't be able to hold on if he doesn't rest." Cloud Dance smell speech a lung, surprised stare, see fall into deep sleep dragon Qing evil. Don't understand why Black AO will say things so serious. What's the matter with him? If I read it correctly, there is something wrong with his soul. If it is not repaired in time, it will be nothing at first, but later it will become weaker and weaker until death. I'm afraid it's been a while since he's been in good condition. When Hyo said the word death, Yunwu couldn't tell what she felt in her heart. But she knew that she didn't want to watch the dragon die. Even though she didn't know what stage she was in, she only knew that she didn't want him to have an accident. "Hyo, is there any way to solve this problem?" "Yes, you can take the pills that I refined in Xiaorao Town for him. Within 30 days, he should be able to cultivate as long as he doesn't fight with others." After hearing the words, Cloud Dance takes out a familiar medicine bottle from the space bracelet, which is exactly the pill that was given to False Dragon 3 outside Xiaorao Town that day. There are many coincidences in the world. Unexpectedly, this medicine not only failed to be taken by Long San, but also fell on Long Qingxia. Just what happened to this dragon's evil? What's wrong with the soul? Is it because of the fire that night? I can't figure it out, but my heart has increased a lot of doubts. Thinking of Hyo's saying to let Long Qingxi have more rest, Yunwu puts the medicine bottle beside Long Qingxi's pillow. "There's only one pill. I don't worry about the wrong dosage." Seeing that Long Qingxia didn't wake up, Yunwu stepped back. Lao Hu and his family were just dozing off. Seeing the cloud dancing into the tent and out, they were worried, and everyone was in a delicate mood. After all, in their eyes, the brothers are different from before. Yunwu was looked down upon by Lao Hu and they had goosebumps. They simply went to a big tree not far away to enjoy the cool. At this time Lingen rode a strong beast horse and came at a gallop. Seeing the cloud dancing under the tree, Lingen pulled the reins and ran towards her. When she got off the horse on the way, she almost rolled down. Lingen kneels down and salutes to Yunwu with one knee. He speaks very fast and says, "Xiao Wu, my son has something urgent to find you and your brother." Cloud Dance know Ling An's temper. If not for emergency, he is impossible to give her salute. However, in the current situation of Dragon's betrayal of evil, if we let him do it, there will be great consequences. My brother is resting. What can I do for you? I'll go with you. Ling An's face is not good looking at the moment. The young master is looking for two of your brothers. Your brother is resting and calls him up. How can you be so perfunctory to our young master? If you think it's perfunctory, then I don't have to go. Go back by yourself. By Ling An's such domineering lesson, Cloud Dance's face also cooled down. If she didn't care that she still owes Nangongji, she and Long Qingxia might leave alone and go to practice after entering the Warcraft forest with the exploration team. She has been enduring, does not mean that she has to see a small guard's face. Ling An couldn't say when she heard the Cloud Dance turn over. She was angry and worried. A white and handsome face turned red. It's Ling An who broke his word. Please come with me to see you first. As for your brother, I'll send someone else. Cloud Dance a wave hand cold way. Don't have to, who also forbid to disturb him. The attitude of Cloud Dance makes Ling An feel humiliated. He is the highest ranking bodyguard around Nangongyi, but now he is ordered by little people like Cloud Dance. If you have to take him with you, please wait here with me until he wakes up. Wait. If his son can wait, why is he so anxious? I'm going to take your brother to see you now. You know better. Ling An draws out his sword and points it at Yunwu's throat. Ling An doesn't know. With his strength at the beginning of the 7th level, he doesn't have any arrogant capital in front of Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance suddenly narrowed cold eyes. If this is not Nangongyi's bodyguard, maybe as early as the moment when he threatened to take the sword to her, he would become a corpse. Go or not, you choose. Ling An's eyebrows and eyes are all over the place, and there are still some follow-up actions. At this time, Lao Hu and they all came to make it right. Bodyguard Ling, don't get me wrong. Brother Xiaowu is a little sick, so he won't let anyone disturb him. However, Brother Xiaowu has a lot of great skills. Maybe he can solve the urgent problem of Nangong. Yes, this small 5 don't look at him, let small 1 this ability can play. One person at a time, all in front of this short boy to say this, really let feel quite surprised. Ling An finally can only nod. Then you will follow me to see our son immediately. Nangongji's temporary residence. Just get off the horse and enter the door. Yunwu smell a smell that people can't help but want to cover their nose. The smell was very fishy. Yunwu immediately thought that they had put all the poisons they had collected here. Ling An raised his hand, covered his nose and mouth with his sleeve, and led the way in front of him. However, Yunwu was shocked when he saw the man in white lying on the bed. What's the matter? Although Nangongyi's face is still covered with veil, his fingernails are purple, which is obviously the symptom of poisonous hair. Ling An couldn't bear to see Nangongyi. He only explained to Yunwu. It's the poison in the child. Suddenly, the poison has poisoned his hair. According to the person who poisoned him, within 3 days after the poison, the child will. Yunwu understands what Ling An's unfinished words are. She turns her eyes and looks around the room. She finds that there are fewer people. Where is Shengguan? Ling An continued to explain. Shengguan is still outside collecting poisons with people. Before he left, he said that if the young master has any problems or poisonous hair, he can find you 2 brothers and find a solution. The Cloud dances and hears the speech. The brow suddenly tightly wrinkles. Looking for them? I remember that Shengguan used to look around him as if he saw something strange. However, now Cloud Dance is not exploring much. Close to the unconscious Nangongyi, Yunwu reaches out and presses the pulse gate on his wrist, but in the next second, his face suddenly changes. As soon as Yunwu had explored Nangongji's pulse, he reached out to try his breath. Fortunately, although weak but also shallow breathing, Cloud Dance this just secretly relaxed tone, but can't help but frown of saw a temple e. What kind of poison is it? Ling An sees Cloud Dance's face change several times, and tries Nangongyi's breathing. She's scared to death. Linen, who is full of Nangongyi, anxiously asks Yunwu, Xiaowu, how is our child? Cloud Dance looked up at him and directly replied, I don't know. Although she is code-named as a miracle doctor in modern times, and she thinks that her medical skills are not bad. Nan Gongyi is in a bad situation at this time, and she really has nothing to do. Or perhaps, she said that she had read all the knowledge in her mind, and could not tell what poison was in it. In the end, this alien world is totally different from the Earth. Before, she was able to conclude that the old master of Morong family was plagued, but it was because she had been on a mission to a small remote country, and met a similar disease there. It's not a plague, but a kind of chronic poisoning that can be transmitted through blood or saliva. If not met, even the top medical skills also can hardly detect that toxicity exists. You don't know? Don't you have great ability? Why don't you know? Ling'an was in a hurry, and her expression was distorted. Shangguan, who knows the poison best, is not here. Yunwu and Longqingxi are his only life-saving straws now. No wonder Ling'an is like this. I didn't say that I have any ability. It's Shangguan who asked you to come to us. What's the reason for your aggressive behavior? Cloud danced coldly, looking at Ling'an, her ordinary young face, but exudes a strange momentum. The sudden coldness of Cloud dance makes Ling'an a little frightened. But the brain, which is dizzy by anxiety, also calms down a little. When the room was quiet, Cloud dance said, "How long will Shangguan come back?" "As early as this evening. If it's too late, it will be late in the middle of the night." Cloud dance nodded and said to Ling'an, "There are 3 days of buffer time after poisonous hair. You'd better wait for him to come back." Leaving Nanganji's bed, Yunwu looks to the other side of the room and sees several cages covered with black cloth. From the sound of suwa and the stench, it should be the poison they caught during this period. I don't know if Nangongyi put them in his room for safety or for some reason. Just as Yunwu was about to step out of the threshold, Ling'an suddenly reached out and grasped her wrist. "You really have no way to save our child?" Ling'an stares at Yunwu and doesn't blink, like a crazy devil. Cloud dance seems to be very natural, all a hand, but directly get rid of Ling'an's clamp. So easy to get rid of, let Ling'an a surprise. Sure enough, this cloud dance is not simple. "Ling'an, you'd better have a long brain. Your master is Nangongyi. What do you do if you believe in the advice of Shangguan?" This sentence before Cloud dance leaves, and her dark eyes, cause Ling'an the whole person lung for a while. When Ling'an reacts and chases them out, there is no trace of Cloud dance. He went back to Nanganji's bed and knelt down. The man who is not afraid of death is very afraid of the death Nanganji may face. After leaving Nanganji's residence, Yunwu rode back to the camp. Along the way, although her face was normal, her mood was a little confused. Ling'an's words have been in her mind. Why does Shangguan let Ling'an go to find her and Dragon Qingxia? Is it her or Dragon Qingxia? At that time, Shangguan stared at her. Did he find the 5 poison stone? If Shangguan found the 5 poison stone at that time, then he asked Ling'an to find himself, and everything would make sense. Perhaps Shangguan wants her to use the 5 poison stone in her hand to save Nangongyi's life in a critical moment. However, since Shangguan knew that she had 5 poison stones, why did she go out so hard to catch poison? In this way, the left and right contradictory thought in the cloud dance still cannot come to a conclusion. The beast horse has been familiar with the way to the camp. "Xiaowu, you are back. What's the matter?" Yunwu jumps off the horse's back and looks at Laohu, who is coming face to face. He doesn't understand why he looks anxious and excited. Laohu said with a bitter smile, "When Longxi woke up, he didn't see you. He knew that you were taken away by Ling'an, and almost demolished the camp." Yunwu knows Dragon's evil temper, but she doesn't see anything wrong in the camp. Laohu continued at the right time. But he didn't know what was going on. Suddenly he spurted a mouthful of blood, and people became soft. "It's still lying in the tent. It's broken." Cloud dance immediately think of Black Ao said, "Long Qingxia take medicine after a month can't start." At that time, she didn't ask Hyo what would happen to Long Qingxia if she started. What she thought was that when Long Qingxia woke up, she would find an excuse to explain the medicine and the things after that. How do you know that a Ling'an will come out of thin air to stir up the situation? Cloud dance opened the tent curtain and smelled a faint smell of blood. Long Qingxia is sitting in front of a box. His face has disappeared, revealing his original beautiful and evil face. But now he was very pale. At this time, the dragon's evil look at Yunwu makes Yunwu feel gloomy. The eyes, Yunwu always feel like a man-eating snake, and like the angry snow devil wolf looking at her. What are you doing back here? Long Qingxia's voice was a little hoarse, and his words seemed to be with ice ballast, cold enough to prick people. Cloud Dance looked at the empty pillow and asked him, "Did you take the medicine?" "Oh, I thought it was the elixir you prepared for my husband. Unexpectedly, I almost killed my husband." Long Qingxia seldom faces Yunwu with such a cold and sarcastic attitude. At this time, Yunwu realizes that Long Qingxia was really good enough for her before. At least, she had never seen such a cold and stinging look on Long Qingxia's face. The two slanting black eyebrows seemed to be sharp, and the black eyes under the eyebrows were more like two gems from the ice. It's so cold that it's going to give out a chill, which makes people uncomfortable. Cloud Dance looks at such dragon to pour evil, in the heart also follow cold down. "What? Do you think I'm going to hurt you?" At this time, the dragon didn't answer and said, "Little thing, why do you explain to my husband that once I take this medicine, I will be killed by my own power?" Long Qingxia suddenly raised his hand and threw a medicine bottle to Yunwu's feet. There was nothing in it, and there was only a piece of porcelain on the ground that was almost broken into powder. Regurgitation. Only when these two words come into our ears can Yunwu understand how big the matter is this time. Dragon's evil originally damaged the soul, but this time, it was afraid of the origin. Damage to the source of the consequences of light and heavy, but most will make the strength of the slow growth, or no inch into the future. Cloud Dance throat tight. She stares at the dragon to pour evil. Tone magnanimous and firm explained everything. "Your soul is damaged. The medicine is to make up for your soul, but you can't do it 30 days after the medicine. I wanted to tell you when you woke up, but Ling'an was in a hurry. I didn't wait for you to wake up, so I went first." Dragon Qing evil smell speech, silent for a while, to Cloud Dance asked, "Ling'an is for what thing to find you?" "Nanganji is poisoned." Long Qingxia's eyes sank and he took a deep breath. "I can't see it. You still care about him." When he was injured, she went to other men and said that there was no discomfort in her heart, which was absolutely false. Yunwu didn't see his eyes. A strange flash flashed in his heart, but he still said, "Dragon, what's urgent now is your injury." Long Qingxia just looks at Yunwu and shakes his head. Disappointment and a deeper complex emotion crisscross in his black eyes. "Well, you go to cure Nangong Yi. You need to use the 5 poison stone and give it to him." Cloud Dance listens. The heart is a tight. This words is not the Long Qing evil temper at all. Did it really make him sad this time, which led to the change of his character? However, the next second, Dragon Qingxia immediately proved to Cloud Dance, what is called the nature is hard to change. He supported the ground with one hand, his whole upper body was straight, and his handsome face was covered with a strong and choking killing intention. "Little thing, I'll wait for my husband. When you save Nangong Yi, I'll tear down his bones one by one in front of you." When Long Qing said this, he was biting his teeth. Every word is like the sound of being squeezed out from the teeth, which makes Yunwu feel extremely helpless. When can he be a little more calm? However, Yunwu also said, "Don't forget, you are not only hurt by your soul, but also devoured by your origin. Who else do you want to fight with?" However, Long Qingxia seemed to be stimulated by the words of Cloud Dance. He turned his head and twitched his eyes. Seeing him like this, Yunwu is a little soft-hearted. Last night, the dragon poured evil to solve the snow devil wolf. Cloud Dance suddenly a lung, slightly open double lips. See to Long Qing evil eyes appeared a touch of undercurrent. "Why do you go to the woods by yourself today?" Long Qingxia didn't expect that Cloud Dance would ask this question at this time. He didn't look at Cloud Dance directly, only hummed coldly and didn't say anything. The light in the tent is dim, and only one oil lamp is flickering. Under the dim light, Long Qingxia's face was even more pale. Cloud Dance previously found tired look, now is obviously can see weak. Long Qingxia's eyes were a little dark, and his face was as pale as a piece of rice paper. Even his thin lips, which always ridiculed others with evil radiance, had lost their color. You haven't started since the first man-eating snake appeared, not just because you want me to have more practical experience. Cloud Dance clear way. You don't do it because you can't do it. You know very well that you have injuries. Last night, it was because I couldn't solve the Snow Devil Wolf. You were afraid that something might happen to me, so you just managed to do it? Long Qingxia's mouth moved, but he still didn't say anything. He just left Yunwu a cold and handsome face. Long Qingxia, you went to the woods to find a way to heal yourself, didn't you? You don't want me to know about it. That's why you left on your own. After Yunwu stopped talking, there was an uncomfortable silence in the tent. Long Qingxia didn't even look at the Cloud Dance, but sat on the side with a gloomy expression. Can't wait to answer the Cloud Dance. Mood suddenly sank down, an inexplicable anger suddenly from the heart. Dragon. Is that interesting? Are you going to die if you're hurt? You are so taboo, I know. Don't take the medicine I left for you. Don't you suspect me of poisoning you? When Yunwu said these words, he was more and more angry, almost roaring out. She gasped and looked at the dragon, and her heart was really mixed. Long Qingxia looks at Yunwu, gnashing his teeth and burning fiercely. If you want to know what his mood is now, it's better to say that he is in a better mood in an instant. At this time, Yunwu can still scold him angrily, instead of coldly watching him be killed and turn around. That's only one thing. This little thing finally began to care about him. Maybe nothing can make him feel good. Long Qingxia looked at the Cloud Dance with a smile and asked, "Little thing, are you finished? How are you doing? Are you happy?" Cloud Dance now looks at this cloudy and sunny uncertain. The facial expression all dragon poor evil. The bottom of the heart really don't know is what taste. I'm very happy. Do you plan to find a way to get back at me in the future? Let me know first whether to dig meat or pick bones. Just now, I threw a knife at her. It's like a big feud in my life. Now I'm laughing at her. Don't you understand why you are angry for your husband? You heartless little thing? Long Qingxia coughed twice, and stood up with the box, although his face was still with an evil smile. However, his sick face and his flighty steps all remind Yunwu that the time of dragon's evil is different from the past. Although I really want to leave Long Qingxia behind, I can't help but think of Long Qingxia's hand in order to protect her, because he knows that he is hurt. What's the matter with you now? Is it serious? Is it serious that the source has been reversed? Little thing, I almost thought you were going to murder your husband. Long Qingxia grabs Yunwu's hand and naturally leans on her. The posture of not taking advantage of her is not changed at all. She is not affected by the injury at all. Shut up, don't talk about the mess. If you are like this now, I can make you go to the west with one slap. Cloud Dance holds the big hand of Dragon Qingxia's sweat. If you don't worry in your heart, it's absolutely false. She understood the character of Long Qingxi, just as Long Qingxi understood her character. They are all of the same kind. If they are not serious enough, they will not show such a weak side in front of anyone. Tut, I think about murdering my husband every day. Little thing. How can you always be so cruel to your husband? Long Qingxia was supported by Yunwu and lay down. Although he was not in good mental and physical condition, it obviously didn't affect his mouth. Cloud Dance this time is really not polite. Baji, a to Long Qing evil brain door cover a slap. When she picked up her hand, Dragon's head became red. Little thing, you are so lawless. Long Qingxia looks at Yunwu angrily. It is estimated that if he is not really hurt too much, he must let Yunwu compensate him. Cloud Dance slapped the dragon to poor evil. And suddenly the whole body was much more comfortable. You lie down and let me think about what your body should do. With that, Yunwu simply put the dragon in the air and left the tent. Unable to catch up with Long Qingxia, he can only lie down and stare. He has not experienced this feeling for many years, and he can't even remember it. I can only tell myself over and over again that the little thing is going to rack his brains for him. And the dragon can barely suppress the fire. In the tent, Long Qingxia closed his eyes and carefully examined his current situation. After a long time, Long Qingxia opened his eyes and had a faint smile on his face. If Yunwoo sees the fox-like smiling face of Longqingxi, she will not run out in a hurry. Instead, she will stay and slap Longqingxi to death. At this time, Yunwoo sat alone under the big tree next to the camp. Because she yelled in the tent before, she was so mean that now the whole camp dare not get close to her. However, this is good, just in line with Yunwoo's mind. She does not want to be disturbed at this time. Yunwoo sits under the tree and slowly sends his spiritual consciousness into Chaos Hall. As soon as he enters, Yunwoo runs straight to Hyo, who is sitting under Xianyuan fruit tree. What's the rush? Hyo read as he did last time. When he saw Yunwoo coming, he held the book one by one, and the book disappeared as he did last time. Longqingxia is now being bitten by the medicine and hurt the source. Do you have any solutions? That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.